Real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to the panel. Thank you to my panel guests today. Of course, we got OG Fred, Sharon Lapu Lapu, and then we've got Carl Joyner. He's a frequent guest every now and then. There's really no subject today. We just talk about our life in the Philippines as expats and Philippine citizens. First of all, let me thank the NPZ crew for all that y'all do. Keep this a respectful and safe channel and live stream. Also, keep your comments respectful, guys, okay? I noticed a lot of you last time were trying to hit on Sharon. I don't know if she wants that or not. You got her own channel. You can go over there and try to get a date with her. But the exchange rate is 56.15. I mean, still unbelievable. If you're over here right now, you got to take advantage of this, because if you don't, it's going to go back down, guys. It's a roller coaster. I've been over here for 13 years. These are the good times. You know, you better enjoy it. I know that. But I'm going to let my panel introduce themselves. Just be brief, because we're going to come back to you and kind of, get your take on things. But go ahead, Carl. Just give us a brief introduction.
Okay. My name is Carl Joyner. I'm from California, San Francisco Bay Area, Berkeley, Oakland. I moved to Manila about 3 to 4 months ago in April. And I've been enjoying it ever since. I retired. I'm a retired school teacher from California, and having a good time. So that's my story in short.
We're glad to have you, Carl. I know you got some good information for us today. You starting some type of forum, and we'll get back to that. Okay, we got Sharon Lapu Lapu. I like that name. It's a lot better than Sharon Lapu Lapu from Cebu Island.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello Sir Fred, hello Sir Calvin, and hello Sir John. And yeah, it's me again. And thank you for me being here in your panel, Sir Calvin, and Sharon Lapu-Lapu again. And thank you for subscribing and supporting my channel.
Well, good. Thank you, Sharon. I saw where Europe is about 800 subscribers now.
Yes.
Now, that's unbelievable. You must be putting out some pretty good content for people to be coming to your channel like that. Now, here's the answer. Lloyd P. says, Sunshine Shoulders, did you find any info on that Brit that lost his passport? Well, here's the there's an actual video on YouTube now. What the lady did is she took the actual video from Facebook and just uploaded it to her YouTube channel, which is very creative, by the way. And it's called No Visa, No Passport, Bankrupt. And, that's the story of the guy. It's just a little 6-minute video and everything. But there it is, guys. Okay, Fred, OG Fred, give us a little intro.
Well, I've been on the panel many times already, so most of the folks know me out there. I like to think sometimes I'm the voice of reason. So I'm happy to be here once again. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Now, let me ask you something real quick. I'm going to go around and ask all of you. Just be brief with this, because somebody asked me this. He said he wanted me to make a video of this, but I'm like, man, that would be pretty boring. He says, what's your typical day in the Philippines? Like, what is your schedule of things called? I know we've got a routine.
Yeah, I came here to retire, and
No, I mean your typical day.
so I what I do basically, I try to sleep into about 8:30. Normally wake up at 6 though, but try to sleep into 8:30. Then I'll take care of any business that I have to take care of. I've been trying to start this channel again. Remember, I started in 2019 my YouTube channel, so I'm trying to get back into that. And also, I've started a small business here. Hopefully, that'll help out locals in the area, employing locals in the area, and helping expats get over here, and the expats that are already here, help them with certain businesses that they have to take care of. So, but
Yeah.
my typical day is just, I get up in the morning, have my coffee. I'd like to go out sometimes and check out some of the Metro Manila areas, so I'll probably have more videos doing that, but just trying to keep busy and not being too stagnated and not being too bored. There's a lot of things to do in the Metro Manila area, so I keep busy.
What time do you eat? Do you eat lunch?
You know what I'm doing is that I'm on this fasting diet. So I'll get up and have my coffee. Coffee is known to, is like, yeah, it's like a diuretic almost. You can drink coffee and it almost helps you not eat and lose weight. So I eat between 1 and 8 and 1 and 9 p.m. And I normally eat one meal. And then that's about maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then I'll snack maybe before 8, a little small snack, but I'll eat one healthy meal and that's it.
They call that merienda, I believe, right, Sharon? What's your
Yeah.
day, Sharon, like typically? I know you got a daughter in school now, so kind of take us through that.
Okay, my typically daily routine is wake up at 4:30 in the morning and prepare my daughter for to go to school because she will be at school at exactly 6 a.m. because the class starts 6 a.m. And then after cleaning the house and cook and making some laundry and after making video for my channel.
What time do you do TikTok?
No, I don't know. I don't have TikTok account because I don't know how to dance.
So what time do you normally eat lunch, Sharon?
Normally I eat lunch sometimes 11:30 or 12 midday.
Now you cook your own food, or you go to a calendaria?
No, I cook my own food here at home.
Is it safe to eat at those calendarias around where you live, Sharon? Because I noticed in Lapu-Lapu, there's a lot of them.
Mm. Yeah, it's safe. It's safe. But if I eat in the current area, I choose the place where it's very clean. But if I saw the place that it's not clean, no, I don't want to eat there.
So what's the name of a good one, just in case we? Because I know you can get a good meal over here, Fred, for about
Mm,
25 pesos. A lot in places, 25,
mm.
Sure.
30, 40 pesos. You can get your pancit, your rice, and then something else, whatever it is. They'll cook beans. They got good beans over here, those white beans. What's the name of one, Sharon? Because I know they have their
Uh,
own on the front.
yeah, there is a green beans, and then the green beans is the little one, and then there
Yeah.
is long beans. We call that here. I forgot the name.
No, I
No,
mean, as far as the name of the place, the business.
yeah, Carinderia.
Yeah. No, I mean the name of it, like Marie's Place. Sometimes they'll have a little name or something.
What? Excuse me, I don't
You have
understand.
like Maria's Place or something. Is there one, the favorite one that you go to? We want
I
to know
know.
so we can go.
No, I don't have a favorite place to go.
Oh, okay.
As long as I saw a carinderia and it's clean, I eat there.
Okay, well, good. Because I know if you go to Lapu Lapu around, what's that, Mepsa? Is that the name of the
Yeah,
place?
yeah, yeah,
There's a
Mepsa.
lot of good ones there because they set up for those workers. I mean, it's thousands of workers there. And one of my viewers, he said, if you want to meet a woman, Fred, that's where you go. He said, wait until about 5 o'clock when they get out. He said, there's thousands of women just walking out at the feet. Just introduce yourself. That's all you got to
Yes.
do. But what's your typical day, Fred, as a retired expat? Well, you're not really an expat because Guam is America.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm coming up on my 3rd year of retirement, believe it or not, out of my second job. So my typical day, I get up at 5 in the morning. I can't sleep any longer than that. Probably used to when I was in the military and in the workforce. And I get up, I look at a couple of YouTube channels. I watch most of Sharon's stuff in the morning, and then, anything you may about that, I look at that and a few others. While I'm waiting for Lynn to get up, she gets up about 6. We sit there and I have a little breakfast. Then she goes off to work. We have lunch at 12:30. When she comes home, I have lunch with her. Then she goes back to work about 1:30. And then, well, if I got any, then I'm on a computer. I'm reading my emails. Talk with friends on the phone. We get together once in a while. And then usually about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when I do my workout. For about an hour, hour and a half.
So it never gets cold in Guam, does it, Fred?
No, the weather's the same as in the Philippines. Right now we're in our rainy season, so we might get 1 or 2 good days, and next thing you know, the cloud opens up, and here comes the rain. Actually, Calvin, we actually had an earthquake last night, about
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 5.1 to 5.5, something like that last night. So
Yep. We had an earthquake here in our bedroom last night about that time, Fred.
well, if I recall, don't you tell me that you go to bed about 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I go early, man, sometimes. But we went
Okay.
to sleep last night at 7. But
How's she doing, by the way?
oh man, she's asleep right now. We gotta take her back to the doctor today because she's
Okay.
breaking out in halves. We don't know what's going on.
Oh, gee. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, everybody's doing a lot of this intermediate fasting. But like Carl was saying, I'll drink coffee in the morning
Yeah.
and that kind of helps me. I could delay it. See, I haven't eaten anything yet, and I won't eat until after the live stream. But it's not really consistent like that. And then
Yeah.
I usually go to the store or somewhere. I'll walk through Center Mall. You really have
Yeah,
to be retired here in the Philippines, man, because
yeah,
especially in San Carlos, I mean, because there's not a whole lot you can do, but it is if you want to. See, I like to read, so the engineer who built my house, Rock Engineering, he built. They just opened up a nice coffee shop within walking distance of me. I can go there, get a cup of coffee. It's on the second floor, so you can look out the traffic and everything.
Mhm.
It's really nice. I try to do something like that. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I was playing tennis, but I dropped out of that. I'm gonna have to find something to get that done. But
Well,
tell us a
yeah.
little bit, Carl, without boring us about your new endeavor, because it's just a great idea.
yeah. Over here, just within the 3 months, um, some family members that I have gained contact through or with. So I'm starting the Manila expat community. And this community will assist people in expediting their matters with LTO. We have contacts at LTO. We have contacts at the Department of Foreign Affairs for passports. We have contacts in immigration. We have a lawyer in immigration. So we have a number of people in place. And also we employ, I have contacts as far as carpenters, as far as painters, air conditioning installers, and a number of things that we have created within this business. So it's going to be, I think it's going to take off as soon as we get people, expats and other people to join the site and to start requesting information or start requesting things that we can do for them. So we provide a lot of services, and I hope everyone tunes in to it's called the Manila Expat Community. There's another expat community called Manila Expat Community, but mine is called the Manila Expat Community.
Same thing, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Why would you want something so similar? What can't you get a little bit more creative? Or I mean, because man, that sounds like the same name, Carl.
Well, what we do, they don't do. We have so many contacts in places, and sometimes
What's the cost?
The cost we're setting that up. It's going to be at a reduced cost. It's something like I don't know if you heard of JRC.
Yeah, like a consultancy place, right?
Like a consultancy place. So it's something like that. But we keep in mind that people, expats, and people who want our services are not going to be able to pay. Like I did. I went through JRC, and I paid for just to get an extension and my temporary ACR card. I paid $16,500. So that's over $300 US just for those two functions.
Well, let me ask you, how many months did you extend?
I extended until December.
Yeah,
December
so
20th.
So you did 6 months, right?
I get 6 months, but the thing is, I have contacts, so I will be applying for my permanent ACR card. I won't have to do the extensions anymore. There's a way we can do that.
That 16,000. If you look on there, they probably charge you $1,000 for their services, because remember that ACR card, that's what shocks people. After their 59 days and they go back to extend again, they get that charge for the ACR card, which kind of almost doubles what they normally would pay, right?
Yes.
And then so that's like 6,000 something right there. Then you add on the 6 months, which is about 8,000.
Yeah.
So I think JRC charges 1,000 pesos, if I'm not mistaken. So what you going to charge less than that?
Oh, we're going to charge much. We're going to charge much less than that. We have people to do the legwork. We have the contacts and these agencies, and we'll charge maybe about maybe 40% of that. So if it costs 5,000 pesos, we might charge half of that, 500 pesos, or a little bit less than that.
What do you mean? If what costs that? I mean, because so you're saying that your service is going to be able to circumvent the immigration fees?
The immigration fees. This is the thing. When they do work as a consultant agency, they charge you a lot. What I found out is that because we have contacts at immigration, we have contacts in LTO, those fees can be reduced, and also the fee that JRC charges people are a lot more. So they charge me probably about close to $200, which is 10,000 pesos.
Well, I don't think they did, because if you apply it, go back and look at the receipt. It'll break it down. And I'm not taking up for them. I don't want you to be confused, because I deal with this about every 2 months. Okay. My 2 months is 2,800. That's for 2 months. Now, if I go 6 months, they don't give me a discount. It's just 3 times 2,800, which would be 8,400, right? So if I go and I apply for 6 months, which is 8,400, then my ACR card, and then the express fees associated with, with that, because they you don't want to do, if you go to immigration, guys, for an extension or anything, make sure you hit that, you check that express lane and pay that extra 500 pesos or what it is, whatever it is. Or you don't know when you're going to get your passport back, because you got to hand over your passport. But you'll look on there, you'll see what they actually charged you. They probably didn't earn a whole lot. But I mean,
Yeah.
even if you charge the same thing that they did, I say it's a great business idea, Carl. It's a great business idea. We need that over here. We need more selection. I think it's
Yeah.
going to work if you get, yeah.
I think part of the concern, Calvin, though, is people don't know how the system works. Now, you can go down there yourself and you know how the system works because you've been here for a while. But what about those people who don't know how to go through the system, how to process it? That's where we come in at.
Yeah, I'm
We're
saying
gonna,
it's needed. It's needed.
yeah.
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, though, your prices, if you get any lower than what JRC is doing, man, you're not going to earn a profit. They're
Well,
basic. They have a good price, is what I'm trying to say. That's all. I'm not arguing with you. I think you got a great idea.
yeah,
But
I
hell,
think,
if you go any
yeah.
lower than what they're going, how are you going to pay your employees?
Well, this is the thing that because we do have contacts and people who are willing to do the legwork and process the documents and do just about everything we need to do on the processing end, uh, and going to immigration, and getting in contact with the people that we know there and the people at LTO. Believe me, it will make some money. We're not out. I'm not out to make money off of this. I'm just trying to help the community, trying to help the expat, and trying to help people, employ people over here in the local community. It's just a way that I give back. So I'm not looking to make that much money, but we do have people that we have to pay to do the legwork. Now, when I went to JRC, I was charged $300, 300 and maybe $20 for those couple of items. I could have went down there myself and did it for $40. You see what I mean?
No.
I, I,
You couldn't have did it for $40, because how you going to extend for 6 months for $40, Carl?
well, this is the thing. This is the thing that when I extended for 6 months through JRC, I paid too much money. I have contacts, and believe me, I have
Yeah,
contacts
but you
in the
can't
office.
listen to
Yeah.
me. I go every 2 months for 2,800. Okay, I can't get that for any less. I mean, that has nothing to do with JRC. That's the immigration. So if I go for 6 months, John used to do it 6 months. His would be 8,000 something or whatever it was. So how you going to turn around and go and get it for 40? Because I need to know that, because then hell, I'll hire you.
Well, this is the thing, Calvin, is that again, I have contacts. I've known people here. I have people sort of like extended family members here that grew up in the Philippines, that know lawyers, that know LTO people. And I understand what you're saying, but these people who go to this, when you go to process something at immigration, you know how to do that. But there's a lot of people that don't know how to do that. And what I've uh, so my thing is, I'm just offering the service to expedite these services, to expedite this as quickly as possible. I applied for a license. I know some people in LTO. I applied for a license and got it the same day. Not a temporary license. I got a permanent license for 5 years, and I've only been here 3 months. So I understand what you're saying about the fees, but it's the processing that people like JRC or some of these companies are charging for, because people don't know how to go down there and say, hey, I need to apply for this. I need to apply for that. When I went down to LTO, there was
now,
people.
LTO is different now. The LTO is different than immigration.
Yeah.
Okay, because Maryland did the same thing. She went there and got her license the same day. But we're talking about immigration. We don't want you to confuse anybody. We got people watching this call. There's set fees that you have to pay. There's nothing that your contacts can do about that. Hell,
it's a processing.
They would go bankrupt.
It's a processing fees. It's the effort fees. It's a processing fees, Kevin. Again, it's a processing fees. You can go down there and be charged $2,800, but with people who don't know how to do that, that's what I'm saying. They're going to charge. Okay. They're going to charge $2,800, but it's the processing fees. It's the processing fees, Kevin. It's doing the legwork.
You have a link for us?
Yeah, I have a link for you. I'll put in the comments right here.
Okay, thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Now, somebody was asking me about the price of Pandasol going up. And he said, do you think it has to do with the hoarding of sugar over here? I don't know, but if you don't believe me, I'll put it on here to talk about today. Prices are continuing to rise over here. I mean, have you noticed this, Sharon? I went to the store. Eggs now, I used to pay 79 pesos. Then it went per dozen. Then it went up to 98 pesos. Now it's 102 pesos. And everything's going up. The bread's going up. I mean, I buy the same things every week. And are you noticing that, Sharon?
Yes, I've noticed that some of the price here is higher, especially the Coca-Cola. It's more expensive now than before because of the sugar shortage. But when I heard on the television news, the price of the sugar now is controlled by the government, because before it was 100 pesos in 1 kilo of white sugar, but now it goes back to 70 kilos. 70 pesos. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now Can I ask you this question?
He said, "Oh yeah, go ahead, Carl."
Why again? And I see that they seize like so many kilos of sugar, and people are bringing it into the country. And you said it's Sharon. What is the reason for them? Is that in sugar is so? We're running out of sugar here in the Philippines, or what's going on here?
I think no so much supply of sugar cane. For to make sugar. I think it's the reason why it's shortage to have sugar here.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're hoarding it here so that they can take advantage of the shortage, because the rising prices. So then when it gets to a price that they want, then they're going to break that sugar out of those warehouses. But they've been, people have been getting busted. It's almost like drugs, really. They have to bust a certain amount of people to make it look like they're doing something, but they're really not. They can't confiscate all the sugar that all around the Philippines is being hoarded. Like they're sending sugar over here from Thailand and different places like that. Yeah, and so that's what they're doing. He says it's called supply and demand. Well, he says, Superstar Jones says, how much do you need to live an upper middle class lifestyle with the rising prices, Calvin? Well, remember, if you go to the grocery store, that's where you're going to pay the cost. You got to make it up some kind of way. I go to the wet market, different places like that. But I would still say, if you're single, $1,500 in San Carlos City is a nice living. Okay. Now I don't know about in Angley City, Fred. What would it take? What do you think, Fred? Because you lived up there, you got a lot of experience.
You can live there with $1,500. Have a pretty good lifestyle. I mean, it's just so much housing stuff available to you, and the way you find rentals, usually in Angeles City, you get out and you walk down the streets because all the rentals are not going to be posted, and you probably get your place for what I want to say, maybe what was one place I was looking at? You can get places from 10,000, 15,000 up to 20,000. You can find a place there.
Yeah. So look at Rock's. This is Rock Harmon. Look at his comment, Fred. He says, "What's up, OG Fred? You know where this place is, Fred?"
Yes, I do. I've been there.
Yeah, Rock. They're about finished building his house here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So where's Rock at? Rock, where you at? In Cebu is where he's at?
No, he's over in Korea.
Oh, okay.
He's contemplating, retirement, but hell, he's got a couple of properties over here, I think, in Makati, and then he's building a house in him and his wife in Don Salvador Mountains. It's nice too.
Well, it was kind of interesting because we have a lot of people before they retired, they wind up investing in property in the Philippines, and they actually got their condo or they built their house while they were still working. So by the time they retired, they were mortgage free. And he just moved right over to the Philippines.
He says, D-Bar's expat says the cost of living in Subic is going up. I've never been to Subic. And that's, I've got to go up. Yeah, I've got to go up there.
Well, Calvin, you're going to find most places where you got a lot of expats. The prices are going to be more because you got more expats living there. Now, not like when you live up in San Carlos City, where you can find like the house you were showing a couple of days ago. I thought that was a pretty nice place because I definitely would have jumped on it.
Oh yeah, I would have too, and it would only take a very little amount of money, and some paint to fix that house up and bring it really to a whole other level. I would say about $500, Fred. No more than $1,000.
Right.
You work with that. Because that's really all it needed was a good paint job.
Right.
And
Well, when we talking about the cost of living going up, obviously it is high here on Guam. We're talking about that. But, with the money that we make, a lot of us can retire on. Even if things go up in the Philippines, it's still cheaper than trying to live here.
Yeah.
And you can still live a good life there.
Now, Carl, where he lives, I rented an Airbnb there. You got a good deal from what you were telling me, Carl. You said you paid how much every month?
It's 20,000 pesos, so it's approximately $400 a month. And that was, again, because I knew some people over in the area, but I do think they're charging a lot more for it now because more people are coming into the country. So, yeah, I got a great deal on this. I'm on the 10th floor over here by Roselle Park, and it was a great deal. A great deal in my high-rise condo.
Actually, 20,000 right now is $357.
Right. Exactly.
That's pretty damn good where you are because you're right across from Roselle Park. You're right there, right up the street from the embassy. Yes. You're in Ermita. That's a damn good price for that. And even though that building is kind of old, I mean, it's still to be in Manila and you paying that. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's the thing is that in this area, everywhere you go, there's surveillance here 24/7. So this building is like Fort Knox in the United States. You can't get in here. You have to even have someone sign on a list through administration in order to even come here and visit you. So it's locked down 24/7. And the good thing about it, I just bought a bike. So, I parked my bike down there, in the garage for free. I'm not sure about a car because I'm thinking about getting a car within a couple of months. But it's a good area. I go to Roselle Park and walk over there. I'm having a good time just in the area. It's a lot to do.
Yeah, yeah. That park is named after Jose Rizal.
Yes,
I've
he was
got
a
a picture
general.
of I've got a picture of that monument on that last motivational video I made. It's a nice park. It's a beautiful area around there, and you're not far from everywhere. Sharon, do you have a gate? Do you have a wall around your house?
Yes, I have my own gate in front of my house.
Is it hollow block or is it just? Uh,
Half hollow blocks and half which is made by metal, and the gate is made by metal.
and why does every house have that over here? People ask me that all the time.
Because it's for safety, because we don't know all the people, I mean the attitude of the people around us, I mean surrounding our surrounding. So just be prefer in advance.
So, what the area that you live in? If you didn't have that fence, would you be worried about somebody breaking in your house or what?
No, I am not worried because we have security guard in the main gate of the subdivision, so people cannot go very easy inside the subdivision. The security guard must ask them, where did you go, what block number, and then house number. But for
Yeah.
our security, yeah, for our security, because it happened before that there were robbery, people live in subdivision and then they rob some houses inside the subdivision, but they live in the same place. So that's why some people now here, they put a gate or wall in their area.
Oh, okay. Stephen K says living in the Philippines is 43% cheaper than living in the United States. Just read an article about that today. That's pretty good, but I wonder what they base that on. Do they base that on uh, the the standard of living that you have over here in the Philippines versus the standard of living in the United States? Because I'd say it's even more than that. Hell, it's I had a nice place over in Margarita Village we were renting. It was only 100 and well, it would be less than that. It was 8,500. Look at Booby. They can't see you, Booby. She's trying to wave. Okay, let's see real quick. It was 8,500 pesos divided by 56. Okay. It's $151 right now to the people living in there now. That was a 2-bedroom, one bath, had a security gate in a middle class neighborhood. The people who lived around me, they own those houses, been owning them for years. I mean, you can't get a boarding house. If you were paying 150 per month in America, which you can't even do if you're sharing a room with 4 other people. I mean, that's unbelievably cheap.
You know, Kelvin, we're talking about security. Majority of the houses here on Guam, we all have our property fenced in also. Because, you know, you got a lot of stray dogs running around, come on your property.
Yeah.
People will come in. People wander onto your property. They'll do that. Plus, we got wild pigs here too, man. You know, that wander onto your property.
That's a great point. I was going to bring that up. A lot of what our fence is for is our privacy, keep people off the property, really. Because right before that was built, man, I was taking a nap in here and I woke up and some little boys looking in my damn window. I don't know. I don't know if they were going to break in or not. But ever since I've got that wall, I haven't seen them, Fred. I mean, that's just a fact. So it's to keep an honest man honest over here. Now, a guy asked me, he says, what kind of phone do I need over here? Well, it just depends. What kind of phone you have, Sharon?
I have Vivo Y76. It's latest of 2020.
Vivo?
Vivo Y76.
Yeah. Now, but do you have a plan or you just load it as you need it?
I can, if I make video, sometimes it full memory because I only have 128 gigabytes phone storage, so I must delete it some old video for me to be able to make a new one, because you cannot do it if the storage is full.
Well, I mean, do you have a data plan, or you just go and buy a load?
I buy only load because I have a Dito SIM card, and then if I buy 200 pesos for load, I can have 1 month internet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I've got an Oppo phone, OPPO. I don't even know who makes
Yeah,
it, but it's a
Opal.
pretty good phone. But if
Yeah.
you bring your phone over here, the first question I got to ask you, is it locked or unlocked? If it's locked, I'm going to say buy a phone over here, because those
Yeah.
roaming charges will break you over here. You try to use
Yeah.
your phone, you can only really use it for internet or something. It would be a whole lot cheaper and more convenient to just buy you one of these phones over here and then load it as you need it.
You know, Calvin, what I do when I come over, because I got an iPhone, I also got a traveling Wi-Fi that I use, so I don't bother to buy a SIM card or anything like that. And what's nice about the traveling Wi-Fi I got, it connects to the satellite. I don't even have to put a SIM card in it, as long as I keep a load on it. And charges can vary depending on what country you're in. That's what I use.
Wow, Fred, I never heard of that. What's the name of that company, if you don't mind?
It's Sapphire
Sapphire?
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah, and it travels with you.
Yep, I take it with me. You know, it looks like a phone. It's a device, you know, and I take it with me. It lets me know when my charge gets low or my load gets low, and I just load it up. I can load it up from my phone. I just go right to the site. It's keyed into my checking account, so the money comes out of there to put me a load on my Sapphire. So that's what I use when I'm there.
The Beach of Life says you can buy a great phone here for 5,000 pesos, unlocked with 5G. Yeah, I mean, it just depends. If you're gonna live here, I'd say get a good phone. But if not, if I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks, yeah, I'd go to the wet market and buy one for 1,500, as long as I can, text on it and everything. Infinite Loop says call your phone company and get the code to unlock. Wow, I didn't know you could do that. Now that's great information right there. Has anybody tried that?
You can.
Everyone did that.
You can, but the thing is with these companies that you buy a phone through, there's two options. One is if you finance the phone, it's going to take a year to get that phone unlocked. You have to completely pay the phone off before it's unlocked. The other option is if you pay for the phone, it's still under a company's name. So the company locks the phone for at least 6 months to a year, and you just can't call them and say, hey, I want my phone unlocked. It doesn't work like that with most companies. So you have to wait for a period of 6 months to a year to get it unlocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out here, Calvin, out here is different. You go through the company, and most of these companies are affiliated with like with Smart and Globe. So anytime I go over there, whenever I buy a phone or my plan that I'm on, my phone is not locked. I can change out my SIM card to another SIM card when I'm there in the Philippines if I want to. So I don't have a problem with that. And actually, I can buy a SIM card for Globe or Smart here on Guam, before I even come to the Philippines. I've already got one.
I think, Fred, most of us that come over here, we buy, like you said, a Smart SIM card or a Globe SIM card, and we load that. Now, I bought a Samsung A73, but that thing cost me about, close to 25,000 pesos. But I wanted a good phone because I still make transaction and pay bills through my bank accounts in the U.S. And let me say this.
Let me ask you, Carl. Do you have a secure VPN on your phone?
I have a secured VPN.
Okay.
I'll use VPN. I've been using
Mhm.
IP Vanish for
Okay.
quite a while. That seems to be just a solid one that's been out. It's been out for years. So
Mhm.
yes, I would put on a VPN. I have a movie box that I can see 10,000 movies on, and I use a VPN on that. But I can
Okay.
also use that same VPN on my phone.
Okay.
IP
Now
Vanish or Express.
here's the link to Carl's uh, the Manila expat communities. That's what it's called, right, Carl?
Yeah, the Manila expat community, the Manila expat community.
Now is that up and running now?
That's up and running now. You can visit the site. There's an area where you can contact us. All my information, address, and contact numbers are there. And you can also send an email from our contact section on that website. And also have them
Okay.
visit my website on my YouTube in the heart of the Philippines with CJ. So I'm restarting that again too. I'm out to put some more videos out there. But you
What kind
know,
of content you got, Carl?
well, my content is basically for right now, um, going to certain areas. Like I went to El Nido about a month and a half ago, which is a beautiful area. So I have some content on that. But I also like to talk about things that I went through and traveling from the United States to San Francisco to the Philippines. So it's there's a lot of content. I have my background is in sociology, psychology. So I um, I can just about answer any question you have. But then again, my content, I'm all over the place, and I want to deal with a lot of things and put a lot of content out there and traveling, and also um, just some experiences that I have in Manila here.
Yeah. Maryland's getting ready to go work out. I was just going to tell you, do you have that type of? Do you have that on your website? I mean, on your YouTube channel, Carl? That help. That help. Goodness, Shannon.
You say, go ahead. I know I get a little long-winded sometimes talking about things.
No, I'm saying if you put something like that on your YouTube channel, it gets lots of attention. You know, right, Shannon?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When
Hey,
Shannon came
hey,
on,
Carl, since you there,
yeah,
I was
she
saying,
had some
Carl, since you go ahead,
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Fred. No,
No, I
go.
was going to tell Carl if he gets the chance, get down to Olongapo in Subic. They got a pretty good restaurant on base called Texas Joe's. So if you get a chance to go down that way, check it out.
Yeah, you know what, Fred? I was in the Philippines back in 2014,
Hmm.
and I was staying in Pampanga, which is not
Yeah.
that far from Subic
Hmm.
Bay, and I
Yeah.
visited Subic Bay briefly. But the restaurant again is called, what is it called,
Tex-
Fred?
Texas Joe's.
Texas Joe's. I'll be
Yeah.
sure to visit that next time I'm out there.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you
I
for
live
that.
up in the Pampanga area. That's where I stay when
Can
I'm
you
there
move
with me and
this
my
a little
wife.
bit?
You know, so we stay maybe
Just a
about
little bit.
35, 40 minutes away from Angeles City is where we live at.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was in Santa Ana, somewhere around there in
Yeah.
Pampanga. And
Yeah. Santa Ana,
it was
Pampanga. Yeah.
yeah, Santa Ana, Pampanga. Yeah, that's not too far from Angeles, right?
No, it's not. It's not because you got Monterey that's close by. That's where Monterey is at. So you got Santa Ana, Mexico, and then you get down to Angeles, Clark areas. You go further north, you got Mabalaca, Daewoo, Conception, and then we got Coppice, Tarlac. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, okay. All right, fantastic, Fred. I'll try to check in with you when I get down there.
Well,
Now,
actually, I I'll be there in December for about 1 month. Yeah, it's been our
Okay.
first time getting back about 3 years because pandemic just screwed up our plans big time. So
Yes.
we're going to stay at least a month.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
Filipina vlog, she says USA is my dream country. That's funny she brings that up because on Yahoo today, Ozzy Osbourne, he says he's going back to the UK. He said, I'm leaving America. He said, I'm tired of all the killing. He said,
Yeah.
people are just getting killed for nothing. I mean, he's right on there. He said, I'm going back to the UK. He said, I'm out of here. He said, too much killing going on, man. And I have to agree with him. I just was looking on Yahoo today. 3 people killed at the damn grocery store.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, really, man? What's going on over there?
They're shooting people at random, Kevin. Cal, and it's sad because when I left, I was living in Elk Grove, which is near the capital of Sacramento, for a while, and just before I left, there was a killing downtown Sacramento, and like 10 people got killed. You know, and then the next week I heard something about North Carolina where some guy went into this area where he's just started shooting people. So it's getting so bad in all of the U.S. People are just saying enough is enough. I was just watching a newscast about, people. Some of these Trump supporters are going out threatening voters and threatening administrators at the voting office. There's a lot going on in the United States right now, man, and people are not trying to move to the United States. So my thing is that people say, oh, yeah, the United States is my dream country. Well, stay there for a while, and you won't think it's a dream to live in the U.S. because it's not easy. It's not easy.
I think that, everybody always looks at the economics. They know the good job. Now, it's a good place to earn money. That's a fact. But a lot of the people that are doing this killing, man, a lot of them are not even affiliated with any political party. These clowns in Louisville, Kentucky, man, where I live, just a little bitty country place. We've set records for homicides. This is the 3rd year in a row. They went over 100, Fred, in the 1st of August. And I'm like, man, what's going on? I mean, it's not like they're killing over anything. It's over foolishness, man. And I don't know, man. I had to get out of there because that triangle was going to get me, Sharon. What about your neighborhood, Sharon? Is anybody getting killed over there where you live?
No, here it's very peaceful, and then our neighbor is always stay at home. I mean, inside the house. They going outside in the house, going to basketball court during afternoon. And then there is also a limit here. If people making a karaoke, it's just only until 10 p.m. No more. If you will be at 11 p.m. so the home association president will call you and give you random that don't do that again. Here there is a limit time for not to disturb other neighbors.
Yeah. Now I think anybody that's grown up in their own country, they probably got some things that they can say about it. Like May Filipino Vlog is probably saying, why do y'all want to come to the Philippines? And we're telling her, well, why do you want to come to America? I think it has a lot to do with it just being something different. And who says you have to live in the place you were born all your life, Fred? I don't see anything written in stone that says you have to do that.
But Calvin, when I do go back to the U.S. because I got my grandkids, and both of my boys are military, I go back. It's nice to visit, but I don't want to live there. And when I was active duty, most of my time was out in this part of the world anyway. And when I did go back to the States, I only stayed back there 3 years before I moved here to Guam back in '92. And I've been here ever since. I haven't lost nothing back there. I don't mind to visit, but see, people go back and they visit. Oh, such a great place until you have to live there. Then you start seeing things as they really are.
Yeah,
And you
see
couldn't
what
pay me to live in the States no more. I'm gonna tell you like it is. You know,
it's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
between here and the
true.
Philippines, that's where I'm living.
a
Yeah,
lot of
that's true, Fred.
carjacking going on over there right now.
Yeah.
Football player who was just shot. He's lucky he didn't die. For his car, I'm like, man, go out and buy you a damn car. What makes you think you can steal a car and get away with it anyway? It's not in your name. I mean, what is these guys thinking, man? They're actually killing people in Louisville, man. Carjackings are
Hey,
out the roof now. It's
man.
unsafe for you to
Yeah.
just drive down the streets. It's best to buy
Yeah.
you a hoopty, something that they don't have.
Right. No. No.
You
No.
know, yeah, it's strange because you come over here and people have a difficult time living. You go to the U.S., the pressure of living in the U.S. and paying bills and providing for your family is getting a lot more tougher. Prices are going up, cars, houses are going up. You can't even get into a decent house in a decent area for under 750,000 or $1 million in the U.S. And that's the point: is that people are pressured so much, and they don't have the freedom of mind anymore to say, hey, when I came over here to the Philippines, hey, you know what? Yeah, I have a certain amount of money to deal with, but that pressure is not there of living in the U.S. and everything being so crazy there. People are starting to feel the pinch in the U.S., man. They really
Well,
are. And that's why they're getting out of there.
actually, there's no easier place on the planet to earn a living and raise a family. Okay. Now, it just depends on how far above that bar that you want to go. If you're at the bar, it's pretty easy because the jobs are there, but for some reason, we want something for nothing. We don't want to work for it. We think that somebody owes us something, but it's a lot easier to make it in America than it is over here. If you're starting at zero, I'm saying. See, the thing I don't get is we'll tell people that we're the greatest country on the planet, right? So that means like we're superior to everybody else. But I guarantee you this: let a guy, a woman from America come here and have to make it on Filipino terms, and we'll see how superior you are. You're not any different. You're going to be in the same boat as the people over here. You're not going to all of a sudden come over here and have the greatest plans or designs to make it out of the poverty that a lot of people over here are stuck in. You really have it easy over there, and people just, I think it's too easy. I think that's part of the problem.
Well, it gets so easy there, Calvin, that people, trying to achieve certain things actually burn themselves out. Yeah, you can get jobs, everything else. When I was back there, I had a minimum wage job. I spent 21 years in the military, and that's all I could get, while I was going to school. A lot of jobs you get on, they don't want to pay you anything.
No.
They keep talking about raising minimum wage, but they can raise the minimum wage all they want, but people are still going to struggle. So once people get to that point in life when they can start making money, can retire, most people are looking for some place to move to where they can retire and not have to work again. You still got a lot of senior citizens out there still working and struggling because their little pensions they get is not enough because everything's went up.
And that's so true. That's so true, Fred.
Yeah.
It's at $15 an hour. There's about 14, 15 in the San Francisco Bay Area. You can't make it off of $15 an hour in the Bay Area. That's around the minimum wage there. People, believe me, it's not. We say it's easy, but it really isn't that easy for the masses. People ask me, they says, well, do they have homelessness in California? I said in LA County, they got over 80,000 homeless people in LA County. They've got a lot of homeless people because people can't keep up, man.
Let me push back on that, Carl. Nobody in their right state of mind over there is really, really struggling. And then struggling is relevant. What do you mean? What's struggling in America versus struggling over here? They
Struggling
got,
in the,
look, let me tell you, let me finish. You go to Louisville, Kentucky, where I live. There's food pantries everywhere. There's homeless shelters everywhere. There's places they'll help you get a job. They'll do all that. You got food stamps, Section 8, disability, and all of that, man. You don't have that over here. You don't have none of that over here. Anybody in their right mind, yeah, you might not have a lot of savings and all of that at the end of the month, but you're making it if you're in your right mind. You're not homeless on the street because there's a
no,
way out over in America. It's called opportunity, man.
yeah,
Okay?
that's true,
It's
Kelvin.
opportunity over there. You
That's
don't have to
true.
stay in the, if you make earning $15 an hour, guess what? Move out of the Bay Area to somewhere where you get $15 an hour job is going to sustain you. But here, man, we're talking about struggling. It's
Yeah,
relevant around the world, man. The struggle in America, man. I could go back to America and live. I don't want to because I don't want that type of lifestyle anymore. But to say I can't go over there and make it, I can. It's
yeah.
easy. There's
You,
opportunity there.
it's easy. It's easy for people, yes, in some aspects. But what I'm talking about, we're talking about privileged people, Calvin. We're talking about growing up privileged. So when you grow up in America, most people see us around the world as privileged people. Yes, we have government agencies to help out. We have homeless shelters. We have welfare. We have general assistance. But for the most part, we're talking about a privileged nation and people who think that they've always been privileged. So why do they have to struggle? Most people will live on the street. They will tell you in America, if they don't make that much money, they would rather live on the street. Believe me, they would rather, if they can get into a homeless shelter, yes. But we're talking about privileged people. Over here, you don't have that type of mentality. You don't have privileged people mentality in the Philippines. And that's why in the Philippines, yes, it's tougher to live here and there's more poverty here, but you don't have the mindset of being privileged. In America, we are privileged people, so we think we get everything for free. Yes, you can survive in America, but for most people in America, yeah, they want to live in a house, they want to live in a nice apartment, but it's the mindset. That's the difference.
John Gomez, thanks for that super chat. He said, that's why I own a condo in the DR. But the crime in DR is here too. Yeah, that's why I like in the Philippines. The crime is not as bad. It's here, but it's not as bad as some of the other choices I've got. And that's part of my plan. I want to live somewhere where I don't have to worry about crime as much as I did at home. What's the crime
Yeah.
like in Guam, Fred?
Well, we got our share, but nowhere like it is in the States. I mean, I still feel safe when I go out, but usually I don't go out at night anyway. Once it starts getting dark, I'm home, unless I'm attending some type of function. But you got certain areas of Guam you really don't really want to go to because you sort of got a bad element that lives there. And what's bringing a lot of crime to Guam is usually not the people from here, it's usually people coming from some of the islands is bringing a lot of that stuff in here. The gang fights and, the murders we've had, have been done by people from one of the Micronesian islands, when they come here.
Now, Knockhole, do you live here in the Philippines? He said every country has various social safety nets. I wouldn't say various over here. What kind of safety nets do y'all have over here, Sharon? Since you a Filipino, you've grown up here, you've lived here. What's out there for somebody who's not working? What kind of government does the government give you food stamps or give you an unemployment check or anything like that here?
Here in Lapu-Lapu, the government right now, the SWD give educational assistance to all the parents. Like for secondary school, parents can receive 1,000 pesos or 2,000, and then senior high 2,000 and college 4,000. But they give also some food. It's like they distribute food also to people who needs it, who
Now, is
really
that
needs
on a
it.
regular basis? You know, if somebody,
Not
because
daily basis. Not daily basis. If there is if they really want to give donation or something like the weather is not good or perhaps there is a little typhoon and then people
right,
cannot go to work. Yes, so they give donation, especially on the island in Lapu-Lapu. I mean that island, Olango Island, and in our island, especially when the weather is good, the Lapu-Lapu government sent them food to that island for to supply for to give to residents.
now, do you know what a safety net is, Sharon? Do you know what we're talking about when we say that?
Not exactly 100%, but here in Lapu-Lapu it's very safe because the mayor distribute now some policemen all over the street here in Lapu-Lapu, and then all the street in Lapu-Lapu has a CCTV camera.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, you're talking about safety. Now, we're talking about
Mm,
safety net where we actually have programs in play over
mm,
there that will prevent a level-minded, reasonable person from really hitting the bottom there. If I work a certain amount of time and then I lose my job for something I didn't do, I'm not
mm,
responsible for, Fred. I can get unemployment. I can draw unemployment. So many of
Uh,
my so many of
I
my
just want to say
Medicare.
one thing. I want to cut in quickly. Guam didn't have unemployment. So, if you didn't have a job, you were out there unless you get some type of welfare benefits. And they just started giving unemployment, something they just did here recently. So I just want to plug that in. And we
Yeah,
get
but
back
I
to what you
mean,
were saying.
even welfare is a temporary fix, man. They don't have that over here, Fred. I grew up for years on welfare where my mother had, eight, well, not eight children because my two oldest sisters, they were in college or whatever, but let's say six children. She was getting a check every month, food stamps, and a medical card. Okay. Now, once she met my stepfather and things got a little better, it was different. But they don't have that over here. They have a something like that, but I mean, we've got Section 8, we've got so many of my
Yeah.
clients in America were on disability. If you look at them, they just look like they normal people. But they were getting a check every month, Medicare every month. Everything was taken care of for them. And I say that because see, we've got people complain about the tax over there, but we've got a great big tax base. So that's responsible for a lot of the easy living that we have in America, man. But to say we're struggling over there, man, I tell you what, I'd rather struggle there, Carl, than over here.
Well,
Yeah.
Calvin, Carl, how long you been in the Philippines?
I've been in the Philippines since April, so almost about 4 months.
Okay, so you've been back in the States. And even when I was back there, and you have to admit, there's been a lot of changes, since you left, Calvin, with a lot of these programs and everything that they got. Uh, the problem is people got so dependent upon government. Why would they want to go out and get a job if you can get benefits? Now, I never had a problem with people getting benefits if they had a job they wasn't making much money. But I see here on Guam, we got young people on welfare who could be out there and working, but they're getting this check every month. They're living better than me the way I look at it. They get a healthy food supplement and everything. You know, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's jobs here, but people just don't want to work them.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
understand that.
That
But here's what you fail to realize. Those people are always gonna be like that. The
Sure.
regular people like me, you, Carl, and us like that over in America, we will never accept that as a standard of living. Those people are always gonna be there like that. See?
And some
But
may
the
not have a choice because what I've
people like
seen
me,
when they started welfare and stuff, if you had a family that was on welfare, you got 10 generations later and you still got members of the family still doing the same thing.
But
Now, the
those
purpose of the
people, Fred,
program was supposed to help people out during difficult times, not for you to make a living off of it.
yeah, but
And that's
those
what people have done.
Fred, they're always going to be.
And we pay for that, but we pay for that.
We pay for a whole lot of other stuff,
Yeah.
though.
I know we do.
What about the corporate welfare, Fred, that nobody talks about? The billions and billions of dollars we give these companies, a whole lot more, man. Look at where your tax dollars is going.
Well, they go overseas too. We ain't got no control over it.
Right.
Okay, Kelvin, everything goes over. I know what you're saying, but what I'm trying to do is make a point is one sector. We're going all over the place. Now, we got a problem with welfare. I know we got problems with other areas, but what I'm saying is, government put these programs in to me is to keep people down where they're at, and you don't give them no type of incentive to move anywhere. If you're sitting at home and you get these checks every month, why would you want to go out and work any place? Because you're going to get the checks the rest of your life. So why would you want to do anything? Okay,
yeah, but
that's my point.
Fred, are going to be there no matter what. People like me and you and Carl, we're not going to accept that as a standard of living. Okay, when we talk about every rich country, especially like America, we should take care of our most vulnerable people, the sick, the elderly, the children. And then just because a few people, because most of those programs, they work. They do what they're supposed to. But because we can point at a few families and say, oh, they've fallen through the cracks, we're supposed to get rid of the whole system? I don't think so. Because the overwhelming majority of people, I'm not going to accept $900 per month. I don't care if it's free or not. I'm not going to do it. Neither are you. Neither is Carl. Neither is anybody that I really know. It's supposed to be a temporary fix. And it does what it's supposed to do. But because I can look down the street and see that woman and her kids, they've been on there for so many generations, we're supposed to scrap it all. I don't agree with that. Because just because a few people take advantage of the program don't mean we're supposed to get rid of it. What about the other 95% that is helping? See, that's all I'm saying. But
Carl, what do you think?
This is what I think, because for me, I went through school, got my education. I grew up in a middle class family, so I really didn't see that. But I see that it's become a safety net now that has become too big, meaning that people now and young people who grow up in underprivileged families or communities, they tend to take that as a way of life now. Okay. Yeah. So that this is what, and we understand that there's different sectors, corporate welfare, that, we understand that taxes are going all over the place. But I know that we need to take care of people in general that are going through tough times. But it is not a safety net. It's supposed to be temporary. But people have fallen to that safety net generations after generations. And I think that's what Fred is saying, is that you cannot continue to have that kind of mindset, because what it does, it permeates through the family generation after generation. So you got one generation starting when they open welfare, and then you got people who are still in the family, they're still on welfare, and they haven't changed. Because there's no incentive. There's no incentive for some people to get out there and say, hey, I need to work. Now you, Fred, and me, we understand that. Right?
Let me give you a fact. I grew up in a family of 9. We grew up, like I said, in that period when my mother had to go on welfare and food stamps. Not one of us is stuck in there. And that goes for the majority of the families who get on welfare. We don't stay stuck down there, Carl. I can't agree with you on that. I mean, I appreciate your point, but it's just not true from what I'm seeing, boots on the ground. People they want more than that. Okay, yeah, you do have some people who say, oh, well, hell, I'm getting this food stamps and, the AFDC check and the medical card. they're always gonna be there though.
Yeah, but
That's
most
not a
people
hard
are not like you. Most people are not like you, Calvin.
They
The
are. They are,
majority,
Carl.
the
They are.
majority of people say to themselves and their family,
No,
"Hey, if I can get
you're wrong.
$1,000, if I can get $1,000 to
No.
$1,200 in food, and then I can get some cash, and then I can get Section 8." Listen, why should they get off of that? Why should they go work? And this is people are saying in America, why should I go work for $15 an hour where I can make $16 an hour on welfare? And I don't have to go out
where
and
they
I
paying
don't
that
have,
kind of money? First of all, if the majority of the people were doing that, Carl, the system would collapse.
you
It's
know
just
what, you
not
know what's
that.
happening? You know what's happening now, Calvin? You know what's happening now in America? People are not going back to work after COVID. They want to stay at home. They want
Yeah,
to.
but
They're
those
saying
are the
they're saying
people.
we have enough of working. This is the kind of mindset that people are starting to
For
have
some,
in
for some
America.
people, Carl. For some people, not like you. You didn't stay at
Not
home after
me.
COVID,
No,
did
I
you?
didn't.
Fred
Nope.
didn't stay home after COVID. Fred was still. I mean, because you're retired. You've been retired 3 years, so you were retired before COVID. But people in that right state of mind, man, they're not going to take. That's not enough money for a level-minded person in America. You're talking about the small percentage of people who say, "Okay, give me that." Anybody in their right man would never stay. What were they giving? $300 every 2
They get
weeks
more
or
than that
something?
now.
Yeah,
They get
they
more
get
than
more
that
than
now.
they
They get
get.
Whatever
quite
it
a bit.
is, Ed,
But
Yeah.
the
whatever
thing
it
is,
is.
Look, I'm gonna tell
Let me
you,
finish,
been on
though.
welfare.
Let me
Okay.
finish. Whatever it is, Fred, for somebody like me and millions of other people, it's not enough. We don't want that. But because there's some people who say, "Okay, I want it." Remember, we're paying into this system, by the way. They take out that when you were working, Fred. They take it out when you were working, Carl.
Sure, I know
Unemployment
that.
tax comes out. So why you penalize somebody who wants to all of a sudden receive it?
We're
That's
not
why we
penalizing
pay.
anybody. What I'm saying is,
Wait,
you
let
heard
me
me say
finish.
earlier. Okay.
One more thing. It's like
Yeah.
insurance. People pay into insurance all the time. And then when they have an accident, they don't want to call the insurance company because they think, "Oh, I'm going to be penalized or this and that." Then why pay into the insurance all those years? That's all I'm saying. Most
yeah,
people don't take that stuff as a living. And just because we can point to some people and say they're doing it, doesn't mean we're supposed to scrap the whole system.
no, I didn't say
Nobody said
scrap
it.
the whole system.
Right.
I'm saying that people, just like one of this gentlemen said on the comments, people have a tendency to get too comfortable and they start to play the system. You see what I'm saying? The system is supposed to be set up as a safety net. Now, you and your family, you got off of that, right? And many of people have gotten off of that because they aspire to something more higher in life. They want to do more. But the thing is that there's not a lot of people. Let me rephrase that. There's some people who get stuck in that mindset, Kevin, and they will not leave that mindset. Generation,
Okay.
I've seen it in California year after year. They can say, "Hey, if I know one girl she had 4 kids. She was getting $1,200 in food. She was getting her
Okay.
rent paid by the government,
Okay.
and she was getting money from the government. Now, you take that same girl. She says, "Hey, why should I work? I have to get up, get dressed, go to work, and then I have to pay for daycare for $250 a week for 4 kids. So therefore, why should I get out? I'm losing money to get out and work." She's losing money because she has to pay daycare. She has to travel to work. She has to have lunch. She has to have lunch for her kids. So what people are doing is saying, "Hey, they're balancing it out. If I can stay home and stay on welfare, then instead of going out and having to pay all this money to child care and everything
Yeah.
else," that's
We
what
get
people
your
are
point.
saying.
Let's get this to Christopher Wolfgang. Thanks for the super chat. He said, "Get rid of those programs and crime will skyrocket. They'll get their money some kind of way." My problem is we pay these taxes, guys, and then we want to tell the government how to spend our tax money. Okay.
And we should.
Yeah, but
And
I'm
they should.
saying
They work for us.
But we only pick on the poor, is what I'm saying, Carl. We don't pick on everybody else. We only pick on the poor people, the ones whose backs the country was built on. Why pick on the lady like you were talking about? Okay, but look, she's gonna be there no matter what. She's not the rule. She's the exception. She's not the rule. Those
I don't know,
programs-
Kelvin. I've seen too many people that's on it. You know, I've been around. I live different places. I've been different places. I've seen this. Okay. I said earlier, I didn't have a problem with people getting it that needed it, but you got younger people what we're talking about that stay on their lifetime. Why would I go work someplace for $15 an hour, you know, and not stay home and go give me a $1,200 check or more? And the way it used to be set up, the more kids you had, the more money you get. I'm working. I got a lot of kids. I didn't get no more money. Okay. We had to make it within our means. I've never been on welfare. But what I'm saying is, you saying earlier, then people need to be picking themselves up. We're talking about there's a few people, there's more than a few people that's out there. This is a small island. Okay. I see a bunch of it right here on this island.
I agree with you. But there's nothing you can do to help people like that.
Well, you always talking about the government. Well, the government is doling out the money. They can come down and make certain requirements. You got to come and show you got a job. Now, I said I didn't have a problem with people getting welfare if they were trying to work. Then we need to be trying to help those folks out. But to stay home and do nothing, you know, is a different story.
Who are we that we can look at somebody and say, oh, you need welfare and you don't? What about all the people who the plans are really working for? That's why we pay into the system. That's why they have those programs, Fred, because they're working. They're helping a lot of people. Those people who fall through the cracks and who take advantage of it, they're going to do that anyway. Those are the type of people that no matter what happens, they're going to stay right at that bar or underneath it. They're not going to try to raise themselves up or like that. You know, I'm just saying.
Because why should they, Calvin? They don't have incentive to do it. I wouldn't do it if somebody's giving me money. But the thing is, we're talking about our money that's going to a program that's supposed to work. And the purpose of the program was to help those families that needed help.
That's
not for you to stay on there forever to pull yourself up. Now, when I was going to school, you know, I was going for auto mechanics. After I got out the military, we had this one lady that was going there. In fact, it was quite a few families, and they were on welfare. What they were doing, they was paying for the schooling. They would pay for the transportation. They send a bus out and pick the folks up, and they paid for care to take care of the family. And most of them wind up dropping out of the school because they were making more money just staying on welfare. You know, and we always talk about this small exception, but it's a lot more people out there than what we really know about.
Yeah, but what about, we always want to talk about the people who are abusing the system. What about the people? Now you name them, Fred. Name me 25 people that the system is working for. See, I
got friends. When I grew up, I grew up where a lot of people were on welfare, okay?
Yeah.
All the guys that I knew that was on it, they all grew up, they became successful. They got off of it. They had opportunities. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. It's none of my business, see, because I just got to do what I have to do. I can't I can't hit a bullseye looking at somebody else's target. I can't look at them and say, man, you need to get off welfare. You've been collecting it for so many centuries. That's going to be an obstacle to me. I'm not going to be able to get anywhere in life. All I got to know is this. Those programs are working for the majority of the people, or the government would have scrapped it already. They basically cut it down to bare bones anyway. The only reason it's coming back up is because of the pandemic, that the government shut the whole country down, the world down rather, where you couldn't even go out and work, Fred. They got to give us something. That's our tax dollars, guys.
Well, what they did, but see, the thing is government can't afford to get rid of welfare. Okay, they can't afford to get rid of it. So we can't really say it's working. They don't have no choice because so many people have got It's almost like
So what are they? So what are
somebody
they
that has a
supposed to
drug.
do?
Somebody's got a drug addiction. They've got used to welfare. Government can't afford to take it away.
And
It
you
has to
and
stay
you
in place.
and you know what? You
So
know
what are
what
we
too
supposed
though?
to spend our tax dollars on, Carl? What are we supposed to
Well,
spend it on? Nobody talks
this
about the military. That's where all the money's going, guys. Okay, to a place where we're not at war, guys. That's where all your tax money's going. Now, you know, people push back and say a whole lot more money's going to the military than it is, which has become like a jobs program. But nobody really wants to look at that. But you'll point easily at the welfare recipients and the guys like, how many people are cheating the damn military, Fred? I get
yeah,
them on the
Well,
panel
the
all
thing
the
is,
time.
but
Oh,
the thing is,
see, you won't let me finish, man. Let me
okay,
finish.
go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know, every day, Fred, I get 4 or 5 emails. Hey, are you collecting your disability from the military? You can get it, man. If you was in the service at this time and is your hearing bad? Man, that's fraud that they're committing. But we never talk about that. You know,
I
it's
think
like you're unpatriotic if you talk about stuff like that. But let's move on, guys, because this
let,
is something.
let me make this one point though. You can't
But what are
scrap
we supposed to do with the tax dollars, Carl?
well, you can't scrap the program. No, you can't scrap the program. One, it's gotten too deep, and two, the program is not. It wasn't developed to be this safety net for too long, but there's not that many people. Look at look at the people, the population of the United States. How many people? How many black people you have in the United States? At what, 12%?
Yeah, about
So
40 million.
yeah, so the program wasn't geared for black people. It was geared for other people because there's
Okay.
more of a population of other people. That's the
Yep.
thing. Because when I went to school in California in Chico, small area. And in some of these small areas, you got people that seasonal work that's out of work for a long time, okay, for months and months. So they collect welfare in their off months. So it was targeted for people not, and let me say this, let me be more specific, not in the black community, but for more the general population, for more people that are not minorities. That's who it was targeted for. Black people are only 12% of the population in the United States, 12 and 14%.
Okay.
That's
Well,
it.
go ahead and make your point so we can move on.
So the point is that it needs to be restructured. That's what it needs to be. You can't get rid of it. They're in too deep. They need to restructure it,
So
meaning
that's the
that
only program. What other programs? So that's the only program we need to restructure. Because remember, unemployment, welfare is different. What about, like I said, disability, people frauding that? So just because we got a small fraction of people defrauding the government with this disability, we're supposed to scrap it for everybody who is really working for? You know, that's all I'm saying, guys. You know, so what is the government supposed to do with our tax money? Just sit there and save it and save it and save it and give it to the military and send it to overseas and all of that. But Andre 92, thanks for your super chat. He said, Sharon, you're looking very lovely today, as always.
Thank
You
you.
know, I think Sharon was falling asleep on this conversation. So,
I'm sorry, sir.
No,
sorry,
it's
Sharon.
okay because I enjoy listening to you
Yeah.
because I learn.
You know, because it's
Yes.
good to have. See, that's what I like about being on here, because we can have lively discussions. We can agree to disagree, but we can still be friends at the end of the day. And that's what we like about being on this panel. You know,
And
that's what I always liked about Kevin, huh?
That's just
Yeah.
something, though, that's really beyond any of our
Yeah.
control. But we're just giving our perspective, our opinion.
Yep.
Yes,
But I
and
feel like
fortunately
Go
in
ahead, Sharon.
United States, disability people can receive quite a lot of money. Here in the Philippines, just only 1,000 pesos a month
Yeah.
for disability
Wow.
people.
Yeah,
Wow.
she makes a great point. See, guys, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
what a great argument to have, Fred, that we're having.
Sure.
It's to be an American. If we can argue about stuff like where all these trillions and trillions of dollars is going,
Yeah.
but yet here is sharing. There's no safety net here. That's what I'm talking
No.
about. Struggle is relevant. You think you're struggling over there, man? Shit. You come over here. You'll see the struggle, man. I see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're trying to point out too that there's struggles in every country.
Yeah.
But as we understand, you, Fred, and I understand that we don't want to live in America no more. That's why we're over here. You know, we gotta stop. We gotta put things in perspective in regard to America. Everybody, we go to the land of the free, you know, and everything is so great in America. No, everything is not so great in America. That's why I got out of America. Now, listen, I'm a retired school teacher. I could have stayed in America. I would have to work until I get 100 years old to stay in America, you know, because America is not set up like some other countries to take care of their older people. But America is not so great, man.
But
there's
you're
too
not
many
going to
things
starve
happening.
over there. You're not going to starve. Carl, I can look at you now. You ain't missed a lot of meals, dude.
No.
I'm just saying. I'm not my point. We got it good over there, man. Hell.
Hey, but you know what? This is the thing.
It wasn't the money.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing, though, about America that most people don't know. Your mental health is very important. If you don't have good mental health, you're going to die in America. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care how many safety nets they have. If your mental health, America is driving people crazy. That's why people are leaving America. They're not staying there because it's more of an emotional, mental impact. It's overwhelming in America, man. We understand that, but people that going over to America, we want to go over to America. No, if you don't want to have a lot of mental problems, stay where you are because there's too much craziness in America right now.
Thanks for your super chat. He said, Sharon, you're extremely patient right now.
Yes, I am patient. Even for my deceased husband, I am patient for 6 years.
Yeah. And that's one quality that Filipinos got. See, our system over here wouldn't work over there because we're impatient. We're entitled. Like you said, you called it privilege. I just call it entitled. That's the same thing. And that's why it wouldn't work over there because we're not patient. But a lot of people over here would say, hell, let me go crazy. At least give me 3 meals a day and a roof over my head. I'll go crazy all day long. See? It's like, well, give me your struggle. I'll take that. You know, Ithiel Jose, thanks for the super chat. He said the best safety net is the family, not the government. If you don't work, you don't eat. Unless you are disabled, you get nothing in slavery. That's a great point. But if you're the richest country that's ever existed, you've got to take care of the elderly, the disabled, and the children, the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Those are what those programs were set up for. Now, just because we got other people who are going to defraud it and abuse it, doesn't mean it's not bad. See? It doesn't mean it's bad. See, it just depends on how you look at it. So nobody wants to tell you the truth, though. See, we don't want to look at the truth where our money's really going, guys. It's going to this damn military. Why do we need such a damn big military? It's 3 times as big as all the other militaries in the world combined, even China. Why do we need all of that? We're not at war, but if you say stuff like that, people look at you like, oh, you're unpatriotic. No, I'm not. I'm just being reasonable. I'm saying you're going to pick on the poor people over here, but this jobs program, which is the military right now, which most of these guys will never ever see action. They're just sitting there getting a check, getting benefits, getting welfare every damn month. It's basically what you can say about that. But because it's the military, we're not talking about the people. We're talking about the system and how it's set up. You don't want to criticize it because you say, oh, I don't support the men and women. Yeah, I support the men and women. But the system needs to be destroyed and restructured. That's what needs to be restructured, Carl.
Yeah, I think so too, but they're not going to stop giving money to the military. You know why? Because we are the big brother. We are the most powerful nation on the planet. So guess what? There's a lot of other small nations who are saying, "Hey, United States, we need your help."
But how
Taiwan.
big is big?
Uh,
How big is big, though, Carl? How big do we have to be? We're already 3 times bigger than all the other militaries in the planet combined. We've got the most powerful Navy, Air Force, Army, and Marines. What else do we need? And let me say one more thing. We're not at war with anybody.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just it's it again. That's it. That's our privileged nation. We are entitled. We are the biggest. We are the best. So they want to maintain. We want to maintain that number one status in the world. You know, we want to
Yeah,
maintain.
yeah.
Everybody comes to the U.S. to for
Info,
protection.
thanks for that super chat. He said, I agree with Fred and Carl. It's not called welfare for white farmers. It's called subsidy. Well, we won't get into that, guys. We're talking about the system, period, is what we're talking about. And, the safety nets that basically help the majority of people that they're supposed to help. And because a few people fall through the cracks and abuse it, doesn't mean it's a bad system. That's
Now,
all I'm
Frank.
saying.
Now, Frank Tate says I don't have a. Carl does not have a clue. Now,
Well, that's just his
I
opinion. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
people
it's
his
are,
just an
opinion because I don't know
opinion,
what he's
but
talking about. You know.
yeah, I mean, I don't get that, but
yeah.
I
So
just
black
I
folks,
understand that these programs can't. I think he's referring to these programs. We can't get rid of them. Yes, we have to help the disabled. Yes, we have to help the kids. Yes, we have to help the elderly, and that money needs to be directed more towards. I would think the elderly and the disabled are left out of that a lot. So my thing is that yeah, we can't get rid of these programs. No, they're never going to get rid of them because they're too needed,
yeah, but
and it's always will be needed.
why pick on those programs only, Carl? Look at all the other programs that's run off the tracks.
Yeah, true. That's true. And I'm
Why
not.
we always pick on the poorest people? That's the ones
Yeah,
we always want to blame everything on.
that's very true.
The
That's very
rich
true. They
people.
take the brunt of it.
If America has a problem, it's not because of the poor people, it's because of the rich people who are making all the damn decisions. It's not because
Oh
of the
yeah,
poor people, but they're so easy. They're easy targets, and that's uh, wrong indoctrination. We're brought up thinking that poor people are inferior. They're the problem. But anyway,
I
so
never
not
thought that. I never thought they were.
so there is a safety net, but that's why we're picking on these programs for the poor.
Yeah.
We don't pick on the ones for the rich. You can't blame it on those programs, the fall of America. It's the government, it's the policies. See, that we don't know, that we know so little about. But we know about welfare because it's beat into our head every damn day that people are the welfare queens and all that. Man, welfare is a small percentage, very, very small fraction of your tax money, man. Look it up. It's facts. It's not opinion. Okay, Nakho says, so there's a safety net for the disabled in the Philippines. Yeah, they get on the corner with a cup and they ask for money all day. That's the safety net over here, okay, for most disabled people. They struggle.
that's a hell of a safety net, And
Like Sharon,
Yeah.
let Sharon talk
Yes.
about
Mm.
it. Is there a
Yes,
lot of help?
mm, because my father is a senior citizen and he is disabled because he lost his right hand.
Yeah. Now, what does the government give him?
The government give him 1,000 pesos per month.
Okay, that's about $18 per month. Okay, guys. King Hearted says, Calvin, this sounds like a video that deserves its own platform. We're just, that's what the panel is for. We don't have a topic, guys. He says, let people comment their opinions there instead of raising, instead of raising your blood pressure. Safety nets, America, yes, Philippines, no. Yeah, I have to agree with you, but these kind of conversations, for me anyway, are important because I'm over here. I can't talk to anybody about this kind of stuff. I got to get it out of me. I can't talk to Sharon about it. She don't understand it, Fred.
No.
This is what we miss over here. One of the things we miss is that type of back and forth.
Yeah.
When you move to a place like the Philippines, it goes missing out of your life. You need that. It stimulates your mind. It works your brain just like if you lifting weights. But he does make a point here. Remittance is a safety net too.
Okay, because there are some Filipino people think that when they go to United States or when they go to other country, they go in the paradise. But that's the mistake that they think about that, because not all they don't know that when you will go in the US you earn a dollar and then you spend also dollar. Because I had cousin living in North Carolina. She is a teacher there, and also her husband has work, but they really would like to go back to Philippines.
Yeah, you're Sharon, you're so right. I hear a lot of that. When people come over, they're very naive about what it takes to make it in the U.S. I talked to a woman when I was there. She was a Filipino woman. She was about 78 years old, and she was working as a car lot attendant, and she said, you know what, I'm trying to get back to the Philippines because it's so darn difficult for me to make it here in America. You can't go over there with a naive type attitude thinking that this is the land of cream and honey, because it's not. There's a whole different setup in America that is not as easy. It's not as easy, and just like Sharon was saying, it's not so easy in America. So people go over there and they say, hey, you know what? I go over there and I can make a lot of money. Yeah, if you if you work hard and for 20, 30 years and establish yourself, but just to go over there and get a job for, like Sharon was saying, and paid bills, you're in poverty, so it's not that easy.
Some people see their job as their purpose. It gives their life some meaning. It's a whole lot better than not having a job. What you're missing, Carl, is opportunity. There's opportunity in America. Okay? It's not a lot of opportunity here, man. So a Filipino would take whatever problems it is in America, because trust me, it's easier there. It's hard here. Like I said before, a lot of Americans couldn't make it here, but a lot of Filipinos can make it in America, and they prove it. They go over there and they become successful because our systems are a whole lot easier than theirs. They'll say, I can take whatever you can dish out over there. Just let me work, send my money back home to take care of my family, which, by the way, the guy said the remittances, 10% of the gross domestic product comes from Filipinos working outside the country, sending money back. That is like a safety net, he said. Okay, but they will take that call. To you, it is hard. But like I said, I challenge you to come over here and live and try to make it on their level here. You'll be singing a different tune.
Hey, Calvin, the ones that I know that relocated to Guam, they take whatever job they can get. They work their way up. They become very successful. And I agree with you on that because I see it all the time. And I've quite a few friends here that are Filipino, that came over, and living on Guam is not cheap. It's like living up in Hawaii somewhere with the cost of living, but they make it. They do not give up because life here is better than the life they had there. At least here they're working. They still got families there, and they send their money back home.
Absolutely.
So, and I'll be honest with you, I admire the Philippine people very much for doing that because most Americans would not do that at all. I mean, we can't get a job, making, was it $25, $30 an hour. We don't want to work it. We don't want to take these low entry jobs and work your way in. Just like when I got into the system, when I got to the military, it was like I was starting all over again. And so I got jobs that wasn't paying that much, but I didn't complain about it. I worked at it because I knew it was going to get better. And I worked my way up to where, I got myself a good position. I retired, got a pretty good pension coming in from that job. But I wasn't afraid, to get down the ditch and get dirty. I didn't care what they were paying me because I had a family I had to take care of. I was working 2 jobs when I got here, me and my wife both, just to make ends meet. Yeah. And retiring from the military don't make you rich. Okay. And I had a long way to go before I get Social Security.
How do you call? Are you a baby boomer?
Yeah, I'm 65.
Yeah, so you're a baby boomer. All 3 of us are baby boomers. And Fred, you talk about that because we remember our parents were from the great generation.
Yeah.
They, a lot of what we have, they gave to us. Now, the problem is us. When they passed us the baton, we fumbled it, man. Now we're raising these spoiled ass kids. We're raising this generations and then our grandkids and all that looking for a handout. I put it on our shoulders. He said the United States Pentagon budget for 2023 will be $813 billion. So ask Fred, how and why are we speaking about disability and welfare when we have this monster in the house called the Pentagon? See, I said that already. And it's just something we really don't know a whole lot about. We just know what the media throws at us. The media has more influence on us than we give it credit for.
Sure.
It puts that stuff in our minds. It keeps us distracted on this stuff over here when what's really going on is over here. People don't get it.
Well, David can have his own opinion. I got my opinion. And I'm not sure what your age is, but I know what I'm talking about when I talk about certain things.
Yeah. And that's what they're saying is that, you'll get to a certain point in your 60s. You've lived quite a bit and you've experienced things. And I've been all over the world. So I've experienced things in other countries as well. But this is the thing. We're looking at it from all the experiences that we've had in certain countries. Now, someone said I'll be complaining about the Philippines by 2023. No, I won't. No, I won't be complaining because that's the thing about me. I make decisions, and and I have the ability to say if I wanted to go somewhere else, I can do that. But I won't be complaining about the Philippines because I came over here for a certain reason.
Thanks for that super chat. He said, aim high. He says, better to have a bigger military and not need it than to need it and not have it. I mean, but have we ever been colonized or occupied in our history? I don't see that happening in our lifetime, Robert Morris. I just don't see it. And then sign me up if somebody does invade our shores. Not some sneak attack like Japan did. But sign me up right now. I'm 59. I'm on the front line like those guys are doing in Ukraine if somebody invades our country. But it's not going to happen. We could stop fueling our military right now. Hell, we'd be okay. Just keep all the planes in the air, the ships going, the subs going, and we'll be fine. Let's see. We're getting to extreme now. You know, we don't really like. I don't really like to talk about stupid stuff like this. What did you do?
Oh no. The thing is, we were talking
That
about other stuff. Yeah.
it's not going to abolish. We're not going to abolish Social Security.
Nah.
No.
We've got enough, man. Look, as long as people are working, the government's going to continue to operate as it always has.
Yeah,
And Social Security is money that we pay into. It's more or less like our money. They're holding on to it to give it to us, when we retire.
Have you seen the amount that they take out for Social Security each month? People don't realize that, but it's more. Sometimes it's more than federal taxes.
Yeah, it's like
because
it's like 6% or something like that.
Because I pay Medicare parts 1 and 2, and I have to pay part 2 because I have to keep my military coverage. So I continue to get my free medical care. They take about $100-something from me. For part B.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is that, if you're on Social Security, they will take that out. If you have part B, you have to pay something like 170 or something.
It seems like it goes up. Yeah, it's like we get increase in Social Security. They increase that too. I can never understand. I've been paying Medicare my whole life since I started working. Why are you still having me pay for it? For that part B I need. I've already paid for it many times over.
That's sad. That's sad, Fred.
But see, here's the reality of it, though, Fred. Okay, when I'm working and they're taking out for my Social Security, guess who I'm paying for?
Yeah,
not for me, but the people who are already retired. I gotta be fortunate enough when I retire and get my Social Security that there's enough people still working out there to pay into the system. See, that was a big shock to me. I didn't know that. I thought that, they taking out my money, they putting it in an account for me and everything. No, the money, my Social Security comes out of my check.
Sure.
It's going to pay for the benefits of the people who are receiving Social Security now. No matter how you get.
Well, Calvin, I want to thank you for that. I want you to know I appreciate it. Carl, I don't know if you're drawing your Social Security. No, they don't give Social Security in California. Right.
Yeah,
a pension or something.
I'm withdrawing mine. Yes, I applied for mine last year, so I started in collecting in October of last year.
Okay.
Let me ask Sharon something. Sharon, you're only 41, so do you plan on working again, or what is it? What's your future? Because you're only 41.
Yes, I am planning to finding a job, but it's difficult because of the pandemic. There are some company closed, and especially of my age, because here in MEPSA company there are age limits, so people can work only until they accept worker only until 25 or 23, something like that. But yes, and then there are some company accept also higher age, but they don't hire because they are actually full of employment. They don't hire anymore, and then there are so much now here in the Philippines. Professional doesn't have work right now. They are searching a job.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what I've always wanted to know.
That's hard. That would be hard for me. Now knowing me, I'm going to find a way out some kind of way. I'm going to tell you, whether it be crime, whether it be something, that's the type of mindset that I've got. I'm not going to stay. I grew up a lot of my younger years, man. I was on welfare, and every day, man, from the time I found out we were poor, man, it was probably the saddest day of my young life. I was depressed. And from that day until I came over here, my goal was to escape that poverty, man. So if I was 41 over here, I can't talk hypothetical. I don't like to do that. I apologize. I won't even say that. But I'm going to do something, Fred. I'm going to get out of there some kind of way. If I may have to rob a bank, I might have to be like D.B. Cooper or something. I would do something, man. I hate to tell you, because you know Jesus ain't helping a whole lot of people over here. All right, so I can't wait on the Lord. You know,
You got to go out
when
and do it yourself.
my stomach
You
start
know,
growling,
Sharon.
I want to eat, and that's just the way I look at it. I'm sorry. Jose, thanks for the super chat. He said, I like the melanin of the panel. They are what the real Filipino actually looks from the old photos when it was U.S. territory before whiteness. Yeah, long before that.
Yeah.
They called this is called Negroes Occidental for real, friend.
Yeah.
It's not Negroes. It's Negroes. Because when the Spanish arrived here, they saw the dark-skinned Filipinos and they called them Negroes. That's how
I get it. You know, it's kind of interesting, Sharon. I know Jollibee is one of the few employers that I know about. They don't look at age when they hire you.
I know they look at age, Sir Fred, and
Well,
they
the
don't
reason I've
accept.
been, I got a friend of mine. He's down in Angeles, and last time I was visiting there, his girlfriend, we just talked recently. She's 53. She's still working at Jollibee, and she was in her late 40s when she got the job. They hired her, and she's the oldest one working there. And I was kind of surprised because I always thought there was age discrimination because most places I go, I'm always seeing young people working there, working the places. And I may come back 6 months later, they're gone and somebody else is working there.
Yes, but now here, they don't accept if you are an overage. There is an age limit, and they don't accept also if you are not a college level. If you are only a secondary, finished secondary, they don't accept.
Yeah.
And you know how you might go to KFC in America and, your grandmother's working the window. Or she's working the cash register. You're not going to see that
true.
over here. Or you might see the guy who's disabled.
Yeah.
He's working over there. He's not working here. I'm sorry. They're trying to pass something here to get people to start harming the elderly and the disabled. It just hasn't kicked in yet. Mitch Brewer says, thanks for the super chat. He says, I have heart failure and I'm fighting to escape the net. Man, I tell you.
Escape the net. What is he referring to?
He's trying to escape America, even though he's got heart trouble.
Yeah,
I think it's, and this is just me, quality versus quantity. My mother and father both died. My mother was 62. My father was 61. But they were victims of their own habits, really. My mother smoked for 50 years. She died of lung cancer. My father probably drank for 50 years. He died of cirrhosis of the liver. So, but Mike Dorsonville, I have to agree with you here. He says if you're not a lazy person, you can make it in America. And because there's so much opportunity, there's so many different schemes and things that you can work. You and your wife can work. Is there going to be sacrifice? Yeah, there's going to be some sacrifices. Yeah. But what are we wanting, guys? Are we wanting welfare now when you say, oh, well, it's tough over there? Well, you got to get tougher. Start using this. Napoleon Hill said when you work from your neck down, hell, you work $2 a day. But when you work from your neck up, see, we mentally lazy over there.
Yes.
People like Elon Musk and all those guys who turn their dreams into reality, we want to point at them and we want, the guys at Amazon and all that. We want to pick on those guys. When you have the same ability, really, not so much ability, but man, there's so much you can come up with over in America, man. I'm telling you, I used to sell miracle cloths, Fred. I'd buy a pack. I'd buy them for 99 cents, Fred, and I'd sell them for $4 each. This is when I stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, it's always something you can do over there.
I think part of that is, like you said, Calvin, is there a mental laziness there? Because I think sometimes it's how people think. When you have people in an entitled society, people get mentally lazy. And look at, like I said, like I said earlier, look what's happening in the United States. After COVID, people are saying, hey, you know what? I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And people are taking that route. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what the cause for mental laziness is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's maybe I don't know what it is. I've never been that way, and I didn't grow up that way, so I don't know. I don't know what it is, Cal.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Sharon, have you ever heard the term Big Shirley?
Yes, it's like a big fat woman.
Yeah, but what have you heard about? What have you heard about Western women and their attitudes? Have you heard anything about that?
No, but even here in the Philippines, there are Filipino women are big fat. I mean, so fat.
Yeah, but I mean the attitudes of Western women.
Ano? I know a little bit of the Western woman, like they want to be independent, they want to have their own money income, and then um, until they are not able to take care of their husband, their family, and then they like to going out with their friends, hang out.
Yeah. Well, see, the man, we're the same way for real. We're grown from the same soil over there, Sharon. And this is what I be trying to tell guys. I said, don't bring that. You're running from something, but we bring it over here with our high standards. And, you look like Baby Huey, but you want a damn 10 over here, Fred. This is what I'm trying to get guys to kind of low, everybody's got standards, but I mean, be reasonable, guys. I mean, you can't get something for nothing over here, but yeah, we're grown from the same soil. Filipino women want to be independent, just in a different way. Don't you?
Yes, there are also.
You're independent now, Sharon.
Yes,
Right?
and yes, and there are also some Filipino women, even they are married, they want to be independent, but they take a time, or they give time to spend their family, to take care of their family.
I saw a Big Shirley over here the other day. I'm coming from the store, right? I'm in the tricycle, and we stopped for whatever reason. And I looked to the side, man. This lady was all into this guy. He was a tricycle driver. About, I guess it was his wife or girlfriend. I was like, wow, Big Shirley's making his way to the Philippines. They have their version of Big Shirley over here, though.
Yes, there is. And you know
Dorsey,
that okay, here in Cebu we call that tambukikoy.
what's
Something like
that?
that. Tambukikoy is a fat woman, because you know that when my daughter was 2 years old, I think, and then we went to market, and then she saw a very fat woman, and she said, look at mama, she is tambukikoy." And then I told her, no, 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 don't say that, because I don't want her to hurt the feelings of the woman. But sadly, because that woman heard what my daughter said, and then I apologize, sorry, because she is a little girl, but the woman only smiled, she didn't offend on herself.
Yeah. Mike
Mhm.
Dorsonville, thanks for the super chat. He says, I love the Philippines, but my home will always be the U.S., the greatest country in the world. Yeah. And that's your perspective. And I can respect that. We all say that. What country doesn't teach their citizens that they live in the greatest country in the world? That it wouldn't be a country if they didn't teach national pride, would it, Fred? What kind of
No, it
country
wouldn't
would that?
be. We wouldn't be. When I used to go to the movie theater there, I used to usually catch the first show, and they do the Philippine national anthem. And I don't understand a lot of the words, but it's just so good to see everybody singing. The audience, of course, we stand up, because you show respect to the flag of the country that you're living in. Always show that respect. But I thought it was very nice.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say to guys over here, y'all don't understand. Okay, I don't talk about it a lot, but the women over here, they're demanding of their husbands too. Okay, when you get paid, when a husband gets paid, he's supposed to bring that check home. Is that right, Sharon?
Yes.
My mother-in-law down in Zamboanga let her husband not be home exactly when he's supposed to. She's going out looking for him. She goes in all the ladies' places, all the clubs, all the bars, and she will drag his butt out of there.
Yeah.
Man, this is a fact.
Well, it is. It is.
Over here.
It is.
But reason,
that's why I'm laughing.
yeah,
It's true.
They become something different with us because
Yeah.
you know they're submissive to an end, guys. You know, they do that stuff for you to get what they want, man. But they're over here, Big Shirley and they way around over here, man.
Yeah.
She would go out and get his butt, man. I mean, she'd be fired up. She would cut the clothes up and then sew. Then once they make up for it, she'd sew them back together. This is a fact. Am I lying, Sharon?
Yes. You know, I had an auntie who is a fat woman, and she's only the different of us. She's the only one fat in our family. All of us are thin and not so fat, but she's the only one.
No, I don't mean that. I mean the women here are demanding of their husbands and their live-in partners.
Yes.
You better bring that check home on the 15th and the 30th. Okay, and if you're not there, she knows when you get paid, Fred. If you're not there at a certain time, she knows you're somewhere around drinking or doing something. She's going looking for you. Am I lying? Right?
Yes. Yes, right.
So, Sharon, did your auntie do that? Is that what she did?
Yes.
Did your mother do it?
No, my mother didn't do it, but my auntie didn't. My auntie do it when her husband came from work and then didn't arrive yet, and then she think, where is he now? And then she go to the bar area, and then she found my her husband there, and then she took all the money.
But see, we think when we come over here that these women are meek and submissive and pushovers. Y'all don't realize, man. Trust me, right underneath that surface, guys. Big Shirley, man, you can wake Big Shirley up over here if you're not careful. You know, John Cooper pick says, sounds great. Filipinos make great moms for their adult husbands. Keeps a man in line. They do, man. These guys don't, that's why they say, hey, do you have a lot of Filipino men friends? Hell, how can you? They're henpecked. They can't go anywhere, man, without the wife's permission or the wife's going along with them. She's tagging along with them, Fred.
So, Carl, let me ask you a question. So when you got into the Philippines and they opened the door to the plane, you got off, how did you feel? Did you feel like you were energized, reborn again?
You know what, Fred? My initial thoughts before I came over here was to, I had been over here before, like 4 or 5 years earlier, and it was to rejuvenate myself. I remember what Calvin was saying, is that you have to be in a state of mind that you're moving to the Philippines or moving to another country to be rejuvenated. It's almost like starting your life over again. So when I got off the plane, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was a new beginning for me. It was something that it's different experiences. They always say, yes, you might be from the greatest country in the world, but you got to get outside that box, get outside your comfort zone. A lot of people, Calvin spoke about this, which I think was someone else, and saying a lot of people won't come over here because they're afraid to leave their comfort zone, And in order to learn something about life, in order to feel free, totally free, you have to get outside your comfort zone. So when I came over here, I was like, man, glad to be over here. I'm not the person that gets tired of a place real quickly. That's why I was in the United States for so long, and I could have left a long time ago. But when I got over here, Fred, it was like a breath of fresh air. I'm enjoying myself. I'm more relaxed. Don't have the pressure. Of course, I'm retired, but I felt good, Fred. I felt really good.
Yeah. RLVRV says majority of the low-income families here in the Philippines, the wife holds the ATM of the husband, especially the daily wage earners. That's absolutely a fact. That's the truth. And Ike Charles says, Sharon, Big Shirley is a woman that would take charge of a situation without a man's help. Well, if you're going to use that definition, then the Philippines is full of Big Shirley. Because when you get over here, you're going to see that the woman runs just about everything. When you go in the bank, she's the bank manager. You go in the hospital, she's running the administration there.
Yep.
All the vendors on the street, majority of them are women, guys. Go to the stalls in the market, they're women. You're like, well, where are the men over here? You know, they got their own jobs to do. But I'm going to tell you, the woman, man, runs a lot over here in the Philippines. That's a fact. Yeah, hit the like button, guys.
Hey, let me ask Fred that same question. Fred, how did you feel? When did you get over here to the Philippines, and how did you feel when you stepped on new soil for the first time?
I got to the Philippines in 1976.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I was in the military, so they had the bases there. So need I say more?
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. 45 years ago.
Yeah, young man, you know, get over there. That's why I said I had more fun than most people have in a lifetime. You know, I don't know if you have watched some previous shows before, but my first time going overseas was 72, and that was Thailand. You know, I did 2 tours there. It was great. And then when I got to the Philippines, I got to the Philippines in 76. I went back to the States in 89. I retired in 1990. I moved here in 92. I didn't stay in the States long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And here it's close to the Philippines. The wife is happy, you know, because she's close to home. I'm a happy guy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you get in where you fit in. You know, there's a lot of guys who are moving to Africa. Some are moving to Europe. It just depends on, you know.
My daughter.
Oh, your daughter. Hey, China, he says, is it easy for a Filipina to make herself happy to not consider tampo? What is tampo, first of all?
Tampo is like upset or offend.
Okay. And so how long do you stay upset?
Me, I don't know for the other woman, but me, if I have tampo, it only long last 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Because it's not really good. It's not really good in your relationship if you are in the tampo all over the night or all over the day. It's not good.
Yeah.
My ex-wife had tampo for a week. You know, locked herself in the room. Wouldn't speak.
I wouldn't have dealt with that.
You know, that's why,
Well, you know, one thing I noticed, Carl, if a Philippine woman, you know, has tampo, like Sharon was saying, you know, I'm not saying Lynn don't have it sometimes. I might do something stupid, but she still serves me my dinner. You know, she's not, you know, dumping on my head or hit me with a skillet. You know, she may not talk to me, but she still tell me it's time to eat. You know,
right? Yeah. There was different experience than I had.
Yeah,
that's a good tampo.
Yeah,
tampo that's still productive.
Okay, now that you look back, because you can help us with this, Carl. Now that you look back on that situation with your wife, do you see the red flags now?
Yeah, you know what? It opened my eyes because it was a first experience for me to bring someone over to my country and then come to my country and then act a fool.
But I mean, now that you look back, what were the red flags that you probably didn't see because she was nice looking and whatever? But hindsight being 2020, what are the red flags? There had to be some.
Well, this is the thing, you know. My ex-wife grew up in Davao City, close to Davao City. Grew up with Manny Pacquiao for a while. And my wife was a fighter. Said people would come get her for fights. You know what I mean? Let's go get her. She'll help us fight. So my thing is that the thing that I didn't see was the upbringing, you know, and how she some of the things I didn't meet her family. You know, didn't meet her family. I didn't meet anyone in her family but her younger kids. So, looking back in hindsight, I wish I would have got to know her a little bit more before I brought her to America, because it's a whole different scene over here. But there was quite a few red flags, but I just didn't look at them. You know, wanted to be with somebody, wanted to just settle down, to have someone close, and but there was quite a few red flags that I overlooked. One was that you can't your communication with your kids, it's got to be honest and got to be direct. Her communication with her kids um, was not good, and was not direct, and was not honest. I remember one time that we went out, and I had been in Papanca for about maybe 2, 3 weeks, and we went out to S&M Mall, and it was quite a ways from the house, and we weren't going to make it back. And I told her, I said, "Well, we can stay in a hotel, but tell your kids that we're going to stay in a hotel overnight. You know, make sure you call your kids." I've been telling her that. She had been said, "Oh, yeah, I called them. I called them." Come the next day, her kids had called the police. Now, I'm freshly new in the country. Her kids called the police looking for her. After I told her, um, call your kids. It's not good. So
Yeah.
your communication with your kids is very important.
Well,
Never
lying,
lie, never lie to your, yeah,
is a red
lying.
flag.
Yes,
Lying is a red flag.
that was the biggest red flag there, and I just overlooked that. You know, but then when she got to the States, it became more lying, you know, and lying to a point where
Yeah.
she wanted to save face. You know, they say something about the Philippines where you lie just because you don't want to be embarrassed, you know. It started
Right.
to get to that point. I forget what I think the Filipino P was saying that referred to it, and started lying because she didn't want to be embarrassed. She wanted to save face. And I thought,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
said, you
Yeah.
know what? This is getting a little
All right.
bit too much. I
Let
can't
me,
I can't operate. I can't
yeah,
operate on that level.
let me cut you off right there. But I want to ask you this. Can you just give us a general answer here? Yes or no? Did you see my video on the script, that we follow a script when we come over here? The script being, you know, you meet the lady online, you become acquainted, you buy your ticket, you come over here, you start living as a married couple on the first day, you go back home, then you start living like a couple, then you start talking visa, marriage, and then you go back home and start supporting her. Did your relationship follow that script?
Mine did exactly the exact script. Yes, that mine did. And the first time that was the first time, the only time I would ever do something like that. But it was a learning experience, and it followed that script exactly. You know, and as I said, get to know the person. Better to come over here and meet someone over here if you're going to take them back, but you got to be over here for some months or a year or whatever. But a lot of people don't have that money to come over here and say, "Hey, I'm going to stay in the Philippines for 6 months, then I'm going to take my wife back to America." You know, yeah, you know, you see that, and that's something that you don't want to do. It's so important for men who are coming over here to get to know their potential wife, not just for a few days or for a week or online. You get to know them for a while,
Right.
so you
Let
can
me ask you
understand
something.
exactly where they're coming from.
Let me ask you something, Sharon. what are some red flags we should look for when we're meeting a Filipino that may say, hey, she's not the right one for you? What are some red flags we should look for?
Okay, you can think that she is the right one for you if she is honest, and then if
No, that she's not the right one, that she's
mm,
the wrong one.
the wrong one is like she didn't tell to you honestly about her family, and then she doing that like what Sir Carl said, that about they staying in the hotel, and then that Filipina woman doesn't want to disappoint her family. That's what. But me, I don't do like that. I'm not doing like that. And then there are some also Filipina that lied. They lied even when you are together, but they lied about their family. And then if you invite their family, the boyfriend said, okay, can you bring only 2 person, but the Filipina girl invites so much people.
The whole
Now,
family.
Because if yeah, because if she doesn't invite to some of her friends has upset, and then her friends, he doesn't I mean she doesn't want to disappoint of her friends or her family. That's
Yeah.
why he did in that way. And then if that Filipina make upset to her friends or her family, their family or their friends think, oh, you change your attitude now because you have your foreign boyfriend or something like that. And then she doesn't want to hear like that. So that's why she stand that she invites so much people, even their boyfriend or their companion said only 2 person, but
yeah,
she
now,
didn't follow.
so if I come to the Philippines to meet my girlfriend for the first time
Hmm.
and she doesn't want to take me around her family, is that a red flag?
Yes, because perhaps she keeps some secret or a little secret that she didn't tell to honestly. Because perhaps her boyfriend is the house of her boyfriend is close to their house, so that's why she
Wow.
doesn't want you to bring there. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how would I know if a Filipino has children or not? Because I know that's another thing,
Mm,
that another lie that some women would tell. Because they know that if they make it seem that they don't have children, their stock goes up higher
mm.
and they're going to attract more men. Well, how would I know if a Filipino has children or not?
Okay, you can see on her body, because I think the what only that's what I heard, that the if the woman has already a child, the shape of their body change.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
know
I
Merle
think
was telling me.
the stomach, or on the stomach side front, tummy side front,
Yeah,
and then the hips. Yes.
yeah, Merlin was telling me that she can look at these young girls over here and tell that
Mm,
they're having sex or not. And I'm like, well, how do you know? She said, well,
mm,
I can look at the body, I can look at the hips, she
yes.
said,
Mm.
and all of that. And I don't know. What do you do in your spare time? A lot of guys, I want to know, what do you do? I kind of asked you that today about your schedule on a daily basis. But what do you do when you want to have fun, Sharon?
I make joke with my daughter. Sometimes I told to her, "You are so ugly," and then because sometimes she told to me, "Mama, look at the people always looking at me," and then I told to her, "You know what people think? They say you are ugly," and then she said, "You are ugly too because you are my mother." And then we spent together going to mall or watching movie
Mhm.
here at home. We are not like on I mean she's not like only my daughter. She is also my friend because she know what about myself. And then I know also about her that she didn't lie to me. She is so very honest. She told to me, "Mama, there is some guy really would like to know my name, but I am not interested yet because I am so young, and then I would like to finish my school." And then we eat outside sometimes. Most of the time, I have bonding with my daughter.
Yeah. So
Most of
you
the
don't have
time.
anything. You don't like to play cards. You don't like to sing karaoke. You don't like to go to the beach.
No, I like karaoke, and then I like to go to the beach, but I told to myself, no, I live in the island. And then since I was a little girl, I always swim on the sea. So I think a sea for me is enough.
Okay, so what kind of when your husband came over here, he was here for 1 month, right? You said.
Yeah.
What did y'all do?
Stay only at home and then go to mall or go to beach, but not every time we go to the beach. Not I think once a week, and then eat outside once a week also, because he preferred to cook at home than to eat outside. We are the same, because it's less cost us to cook and eat at home than to eat in the restaurant.
Yeah, thanks, Coach Cheese 233 for that super chat. He said, "Hey guys, what's up, Calvin, OG Fred, and Sharon, and Carl? He forgot you, Carl.
Yeah, he forgot all
Got
about me.
you, Sharon. He said, Sharon, go out and have some fun, girl. You know, like, because, you know, I know you're getting a lot of proposals, right?
Yes.
Now, what if the guy comes over here, he don't want to stay in the house all day?
Yeah, for me it's okay if he want to go out. It's okay for me, because me, I had so respect of my companion or my girl or my boyfriend, maybe soon, because if what is his decision, I follow his decision. I
So
respect all what his decision.
do you consider yourself a traditional Filipino woman or a modern Filipino woman?
Traditional, because I grew up in the traditional family. Because even my auntie, I saw it in my auntie. Her husband just only sit on the table, and then my auntie prepare the food, and then even after he eat, he keep the plate and uh, put it in the dishing area, and then she wash. No, I grow up in the family that my parents and my family treat the man like a king. So
Yeah.
that's what, yeah, that's what in my mind I told to myself, okay, I'm gonna
That's
do
the
it to my
difference.
mm,
Yeah,
I do
see,
it to my husband.
now I can see the difference between Marilyn's mother and Marilyn.
Mm,
Marilyn's mother is a traditional Filipino. I mean, she won't let me do not anything. If she
mm,
sees me going anywhere, if I just get up right now, if she could see me, she would say, "What do you want? Something to drink? You want something to eat?" Right? Maryland's like in the middle of that. She's like half
mm.
modern, half traditional. But her mother, you can see the difference. I'm talking about, I know that she probably did everything for her husband. I mean, then that, I don't know if men want that or if they want the modern Filipino.
Yeah,
But
well, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, but
go
but,
ahead.
but men want the traditional woman though. You know, we all want that. You know, when you look at modern women, we look at modern women in the United States. You know, we look at women who are so independent that they don't pay attention to their families, you know, and to their men. Over here, a traditional woman over here is a lot different. And that's what men are looking for. And I think that's why a lot of men come to the Philippines because of the traditional type of mentality that the women have over here. It's incredible,
But
these Filipino women over here, and how they and their mindset towards their families and toward their men. And a lot of them have not gotten rid of that traditional type, mindset of traditional type values, and it's still there for a lot of women,
but would
especially women
you
here like Sharon. What's
you
that?
haven't experienced it long enough? Would you get tired of that though? See, a lot of us, what attracts us to a woman, we eventually hate. Okay. Now, when I was with my son's mother, she was traditional, man. She wouldn't let me do nothing. And after a while, man, it's just me. I got tired of it. Like, it just seemed like what I thought was her being clingy. It was real more like control. I mean, it's like she would tie my shoes if I wanted her to. And it's just, he was like, oh no, I can do that. And I kind of like Marilyn because she's kind of like there in the middle. Because if I'm in there eating and I get finished eating, her mother's watching me. She won't even let me put the plate in the sink, man.
Mm.
She won't even let me. The mother won't. Now Marilyn will. but the mother won't do it. You know, you just
Marilyn tell you to go put the plate in the sink. Don't leave the
Go
plate
and wash
there.
your own dishes. Go and wash your own
Wash
dishes.
your- Go get that soap over there.
I want them to be traditional to a certain point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
some of that stuff, man, gets on your nerves.
I don't mean tradition. I don't mean traditional as far as being clingy. Now, traditional and clingy is a whole different thing. When you start to get too clingy, you know, and you say, "Well, I'm just traditional," that doesn't it just doesn't go together. There's a lot of women who are traditional, but they're not clingy because there's some women trust their man, you know. And if a man goes out there and says, "Hey, I'm going to find something else," then some women over here say, "Well, go right ahead," you know.
Well, how do you know? Let me ask you, Carl. How do you know when you haven't had a lot of experience? You said your marriage went bad, and now you only been here 4 months.
I'm 65. I'm 60.
Woman now?
Believe me, I'm 65 years old, and I've had a lot of experience with all kinds of different women, you know. And
no, I mean Filipino women.
Yeah, I've known Filipino women too. My ex-wife was Filipino, and I've known Filipino.
You said she wasn't traditional.
She was traditional in a way where she would get up, she would do everything in the house. I couldn't do a whole lot, you know. She would cook, clean, do everything 24/7. I would even have to have, she'd tell me to leave the house sometimes so she can clean up the house.
So what was the problem?
The problem is that the mindset that she brought with her from the Philippines, she tried to use the same kind of mindset in America, and it doesn't work. So this is the thing. When you come to America, you can't be naive, okay? If you have a family in the Philippines, the family unit is very tight, okay? When you come to the America, you got American Filipinos that are like, hey, you know, we're not that tight. You know, we're not that kind of friend. This is America. And if you come with that type of naive type attitude, you'll listen and absorb everything that you can absorb. That's when a lot of women come over to America and go wrong, because they come over here naive, not understanding that American Filipinas is different than Filipinas in the Philippines. It's totally different.
But if she's a real traditional woman, she's going to put you at the head, and she's going to look to your leadership, and you know, she's going to follow your lead. So
yeah, but you know what?
She wasn't 100% traditional then, right?
No, she was traditional, but this is the thing, and people don't understand that America has a big impact on foreign women. There's a big impact on foreign women. Some foreign women have come to America and have changed their whole persona, have changed their whole attitude, they've changed their whole way of doing things.
When did it go wrong? When did it go off the track?
When they step out that plane in San Francisco, that's when it goes wrong. Then now they get incorporated and indoctrinated into the American life, and they have Filipinas here that will take them in. I knew a program. There was a program of a Filipina that had been here for years. She owned a house, and it was like a boarding house. So when the Filipinas came over here and their relationship didn't work out, they lived in this sort of like boarding house, and she was charging people $500 or $600 a month to live. These women that the relationships that went bad to live there. So they were making money off of each other. But when you get a Filipino woman that gets over here, she's got to be very careful about who she deals with. You know, if you are a traditional woman, then maintain that same tradition that you had in your country. But then again, with my ex-wife, she was traditional, but she had this sort of like, you know, I'm traditional, but I don't live by the same. I do things differently. She was just not the right kind of Filipino woman to bring over to my country.
Do you really think now that You look back on it now. There's nothing to be ashamed about. It happens all the time. Do you think your wife used you for a visa?
I think this is the thing, and I heard you say this before. When a woman comes over here, and some women come over here from foreign countries, they're coming over here for their kids. They're coming over there. It's not that they're coming over here to love you. Some of them are, and maybe most of them are. But I think her main priority was to come here for her kids so she can send money back. Now, this is a woman that was a chef that owned her own business, had her own restaurant here in the Philippines.
Yeah, but
But
that don't mean a whole lot, Carl.
that
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 could
doesn't
mean
mean a whole lot, right?
yeah,
But she was a chef. She cooked well,
yeah.
and this is
Well,
why you say
answer
that's
the
why you say
question.
I haven't missed a meal. And I gained
Right.
75. I gained 75 pounds in that relationship. I gained 75 pounds. I was eating so well, but the thing is, let me say this, Kelvin. The thing is that the attitude changed completely. America changes people.
Did your wife come up? Did she use you for a visa? Do you
I,
think
I
now that
think
the
to
thing
some
was that
extent, I think it's to some extent, yes. To
there's
some
nothing wrong
extent,
with
yeah.
that because the best of us can be food. You said you didn't really get to know her, but I kind of like had to cut you off because it's already 12 o'clock. And I'm gonna give everybody their last say anyway. I want to thank everybody for your super chat, super stickers, your thumbs up, just all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. And I want to thank my panel especially because we're on here for 2 hours and a half. I know you got other things to do. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to start with you, Sharon. Just tell us, what you got coming up on your channel. Anything important that you want us to go away from here with.
Yes, okay. I will have an interview again for two Filipina with another questions, and they appear already in one of my video, and then I will interview them again tomorrow, so that foreign guy know about other Filipina what like or what they don't like, and then if I ask them if they agree to be on my live stream because I am planned, so I ask them if they will agree to be on my live stream tomorrow or just only an interview. And I am planned also to travel to my island, how to go there, and then how the people living there, and then what is the area, and then because in our island, most of the people there are very poor, and they like their livelihood is only a fishing, and then even they're poor, but they do their best to feed their children.
Let me ask you one last question.
Mm.
What do you see that foreign men are doing wrong when they come to the Philippines? Is there anything that you see that we're doing wrong? Are we giving too much money? Are we moving in with the girl too fast? Do you see anything that we're doing wrong, Sharon?
Yes, that is the wrong of the foreign guy because they trust a Filipina very quickly, and then they give quite a lot of money. So that is the reason some Filipina mindset they think that the foreign guy are rich because of the other foreign guy who gives so much money to the Filipino woman. That's why.
Yeah. What else do
Mm.
we do? You said
Okay.
we chat them too fast, guys. Are y'all listening or
Mm,
y'all just looking at Sharon? And we giving money. That's two big things that we're doing
mm,
wrong, Sharon says. What about when we come over here, Sharon? A lot of us, the script. We moved right
yeah.
in with the woman from day one. Is that a good thing to do?
Yes, you must date. Even you ask her a date for one day, and then date again on the second day, and then yeah, for getting to know each other because better that you know more about your Filipino woman more than do quickly because if you do it quickly, you will be shocked. You will be shocking of the happening soon later soon you will be regret So better
Yeah.
that you will getting to know more, and then you can know the woman if she is honest, if you don't try not to give money to them, if she still continue to communicating with you until you offer her allowance or something like that. Because if you don't give you can see that if you are not giving her money, and then she still continue communicating with you, it's sure that she is honest, and then she doesn't only want your money, she wants to have you with love and honest.
Yeah. Now,
Because me, I've been chatting with my husband 1 year, but I never asked any peso to my husband after we've been starting chatting. No, until she offered me to give me allowance 2,000 pesos or 3,000 pesos a month.
now let me ask you: do Filipinos use sex to control us? And I'm saying that because Filipinos are smart. They know that the
Mm-mm.
American men, they listen to us. They know that a lot of us, we're
Mm.
sexually frustrated when we get over here. Do they use sex as a way to control us, as a way to, get us into that web? Because the script, the minute we get off the plane, they move in with us.
Mm.
We start living like a married couple right away with all the benefits of a married couple. So do do they use sex as it's like a way to control us? They're like a bargaining tool,
Yes, but not all Filipino women are like that. There are some Filipino women doing that like that, but not all. Not all.
Yeah, but I'm saying, when you told us that I'm not putting you on the spot.
Hmm.
This is a real channel. I'm trying to really get some good information out there. When your husband came to see you and he got off the plane, y'all started living together, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what's that all about? Why is that? Why do
It's
Filipinos do that?
because she loves and she wants to have romance.
Okay, we'll
Hmm.
move on. Thanks, Sharon. I really appreciate it. Sharon's channel is really growing. Here's her link again, and this is with um, the interview with the two young women.
Hmm. Yes.
And if you keep doing videos like this, your channel's going to continue to grow. Congratulations. She's getting
Yeah.
close
Thank you.
to that 1,000. But now you got to work on your content because that
Hmm.
4,000 watch time hours is really, really hard to get.
Yes,
Okay,
and
we're at you, Carl. Just kind of tell us a little bit briefly, Carl, okay? About,
You got to remember, I'm a retired teacher, Kelvin.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
I
a
know.
retired teacher.
The Manila expat community, which I think is a great idea, but just kind of briefly go over that and what your future plans are and everything.
Yeah, I think what it is that I came into this and wanting to start this new venture and this new company because I want to be able to help out the locals here, employ some of the locals, also to help out expats who have a hard time just going down there to LTO or immigration and getting the process done. We are expediting the process much more faster. That's going to be our catch here is that we want to expedite this within a certain period of time. And at the same time, we want to help people out. So it's helping the community, just putting it all out there, and hopefully people will look at my website, the Manila expat community, and my YouTube channel, in the heart of the Philippines with CJ.
Let me
So
ask you. Let me ask you something real quick. Are you able to own a business on a tourist visa?
this is the thing. Yes, I can. I'll have my visa, my permanent ACR, probably in October. Okay,
What do
but
you mean? What do
you
you
can
mean a
run a
permanent?
you can run a
What's that?
you can
What is that? What
well a
kind of
permanent
visa is
ACR.
that?
Permanent ACR allows you to do a lot more things, here. And it's something I have to look into in regards to how does that relate to opening a business here. But I think that the business guidelines for opening a business here is not that stringent. It's not that bad.
I mean,
It's not that difficult.
Is it in your girlfriend's name then, or?
No, actually, it's more like a consulting business. And if I owned say for instance, if I owned a spot or a building or something or a small spot, then maybe I would have to have that. But as far as consulting is concerned, you don't necessarily have to have a business license here. It's just like out selling alcohol. You don't have to have an alcohol license here, So I don't think
You're a foreigner.
It's something that,
you're a foreigner, Carl. Make sure you check in on that stuff.
I'm definitely going to check in on that. I'm definitely going to check in on it. But I think what's happening, see, I have a lot of contacts here. This is why I'm opening the business, because I have a lot of contacts in immigration. I have some attorneys that I know in immigration and people at in high positions at LTO. But that's something I'm going to check into. But I don't think that that is necessarily needed for a consultant business. But it's something I will check into.
You better check. But one more time, what services do you offer? Just immigration and driver's license, or what else?
Immigration, driver's license, passport. We can help people get their passport. We also employ people like air condition, install ACs or repair ACs, carpenters, you name it. We do it. Painters. If you need somebody to come out of your house and put in put in a wall or something, we have carpenters that can do that. Maybe necessarily not building a house. We don't have those kind of contractors, but things that you need done around the house, yes, we can do just about anything. So we've got an array of people, man. We've got a load of people that are Filipino citizens that can do the job for a reduced price.
Yeah, I think he says to consult with a lawyer. He says lawyer up. I have to agree, Carl. Make sure you're on the up and up, because that's what these trolls do. They try to find any little thing that you're doing wrong, and then they'll report you to the authorities. So make sure, because a lot of times a business, no matter what kind of business it is, it has to be 60% owned by Filipino, 40% foreigner. And, it's just something that, see, that's what he's talking about. What about the 60-40? So just,
my partner, one of my partners is Filipino, though. One of my partners is 60. One of my partners are Filipinos, have been born and raised, 60-year-old man that knows just about everybody here in the Manila area in Quezon City. So he knows the legal part of that, and I'll put that to him, but I don't think it's going to be a problem, though, Calvin. I really don't.
Okay, but we wish you the best of luck with your business. It's a good idea, but just make sure it's on the up and up, because you didn't come over here to get into trouble.
No, not at all.
Eventually, running a business is working, Carl. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot of people didn't come over here to work, but thanks for coming on. And anytime you want to come on, Carl, just you got my email. You got we're friends on Facebook Messenger and everything. Just let me know. Okay, OG Fred, give us something that we can chew on for the rest of the day.
No, actually, I noticed, Sharon, I'm glad that you're on the panel. Have you noticed that me and you are the only two people who have hair? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Well, I actually got hair right now.
Hey, cut that off, Calvin.
But you look young. You don't look old. You look very young.
Smooth that down a little bit.
That's about all I got to say.
Thanks, Fred.
But is that a hairpiece? But is that a hairpiece you got on, Fred? We
Send me some hair from the top of your head, Fred.
Yeah. You know they sell all that stuff over here, Fred.
Yeah, boy. Sharon, thank you. Thank you for the first time I met you. So thank you, Sharon.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Well, Sharon's
Nice meeting you too.
I'll check your channel. I'll check my channel out, guys.
Okay.
Hey, Carl, I'm gonna try to get your information from Calvin since I'm gonna be over there. I want to make sure I touch base with you in December because I'm gonna see Cornelius Mack also. We're gonna hook up while I'm there.
I appreciate it, Fred. Yeah, I want to see you when you come over here, man.
Okay.
The next time I'm in Lapu Lapu, Sharon, I'm going to interview you, but it's not going to. I'm not going to take it easy on you like I am now. I'm going to put you on the hot seat. I know you bragged in a lot of stuff.
Yes. I hope Sir Calvin Booby will get soon. I hope she will get soon.
Me too, because I can't get any weed time with Marilyn and, Boobies in the middle all the time. John Gomez says, I don't want to see you on Rafi Tufo, Carl.
You want to see me on what, Cal?
He doesn't want to see you on Rafi Tufo.
I don't want to see you. Oh yeah, Rafi Tufo is the guy that helps people out here. No. I'll go to Europe before you see me on Rafi Tufo. I'll be gone. No, but I'm going to be careful. But thanks for the advice, though.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Take care, everybody. Thank y'all.
Okay,
again.
bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye, guys.